Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by BlackRifleCoffee.com.
Welcome to Drinking Bros.
Welcome.
We got a couple sexy superstars in the show. We got TJ Lavin, and you're fangirling over. You want to go ahead and announce it? Go ahead and announce it.
I wouldn't say I'm fangirling. I
You
just
kind of
admire
are.
the work ethic and his.
Just take
it.
Just take it.
Okay, I'm fangirling.
Yeah.
No, obviously UFC legend Forrest Griffin's here in the podcast. house.
Obviously.
Yeah,
No,
obviously.
more like we're lucky.
And so I don't know if you know the background on the show, probably not, which is fine. But like Jared is like the people collector, we always call him. He has the most weird fucking relationships. And so
Body
Jared
collector.
called Jared the other day. I'm like, what are you up to? And he's just like, oh, I'm at the UFC facility in Vegas, and Forrest Griffin's giving me a tour. And I'm like, you don't even know probably the fuck that is, man.
Well, yeah,
You know?
that's TJ Lavin's job.
Yeah.
I'm actually a people collector
You
myself.
know what's kind
Really?
of fucked
Yeah,
up
you're
though
a people
is
person.
for not being into the fighting world, looking at that wall that you guys have there, I have met and hung out with almost everybody on that wall.
You have.
We're very the parallels between
That's called the Hall of
Well,
Fame.
yeah.
Actually,
it's called epic legends.
yeah, like I've met everybody on that wall, like all your family pictures.
Turns out all those guys like guns in the military. So
It works.
That's
probably
the
like it,
parallels
yeah.
between the because I feel fighters have the same mentality, right? Because it's just that hard work and just kind of down to earth fucking dudes. I don't really know if I've met a very successful UFC fighter I don't like. I'm sure you probably know plenty of them, but they're out there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you say like down to earth, hard work, I can think of a few that are not.
Yeah, but I think the trait
True.
is the attraction to violence. You know, we obviously have
That's
that
fair.
because we wanted to go
Right.
fucking get into some
Yeah,
shit.
but honestly,
They're in the
shooting
same-
someone is so much easier than beating them up because, like, I don't have to get hit in
Yeah,
the face. I
but
put a bullet through their
we
forehead.
all fantasize about getting that hand-to-hand kill.
True. Until you go to a gym and spar with guys like Forrest, and you're like, I don't fantasize.
as well.
Hurts.
We're just like, oh yeah, big time. Big time. Hey, when they said you were going to be on the show and that you were Matt's, I would say, favorite fighter right now.
Yeah, he's top
Pretty
five,
close to McGregor.
Well, everybody, I mean, everybody's probably 100 times the story, but you know, the Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin fight put UFC on the fucking map.
And I
was a fan back then, and to see the sport actually grow and to see fighters making money now, I was like, dude, that's fucking rad.
Absolutely. And
I was gonna say because Conor McGregor seems so blue collar and down to earth.
yeah, right now he is. Right now he is.
Like you got like a UFC shirt on from probably 7 years ago. That's what I like. You got fucking sandals on. You're not in here with your Rolex flashing it. Like I'm a fight fan of McGregor, but I don't know. Like
Swatch was $100.
I would rather have a beer with you. Than
It is sensible. It's a Fitbit. It's a Fitbit.
It's
what
not
it is.
bad.
And now you're having a beer with him. See?
Yeah. Now we're having a beer with him, and like again,
My underwear were free. My sandals free. This ring was free. The shirt was free. This hat was free.
See-
I paid for these jeans though. I'm gonna point that out.
See, that's what we're like fucking spirit animals because that's what I say all the time. I've done okay for myself over the years, and I'm free pants from 511. This is a $9 shirt from Amazon.
This is
a
one of my
free hat
shirts.
because we own the company,
Yeah.
and my wedding band I think is $17. I think my wife spent on
Mine
it.
is too.
So I got you beat.
Rubber. Oh, for days,
Same,
bro.
yeah.
I got you beat.
Yeah, same.
My wedding band is actually Tim Crater's backup wedding band, which he forgot and left at my house because he would like buy 5 wedding bands at a time because he would lose them when he would take them off
Really?
the teach and lose them. So he left them at my house like 5 years ago. I lost my ring after 6 years, and I was like, dude, fuck, perfect. And somehow fits perfect, but it did fall in the
It looks a little bad.
Garbage disposal.
it fell in the garbage disposal. I was washing dishes. I got some soap on my finger. It fell in the garbage disposal, and my hands are too big to get down there. So my wife's like, Forrest! I'm like, what, babe, what? It's like, why's your wedding ring in the garbage disposal? I was like, oh, fuck, you didn't turn it on. Did you? I meant to tell you to use your little hands and get that
Your
out.
little midget hands.
Didn't make me feel so good about
Well,
myself.
Yeah.
Before Jared got divorced, he probably had the coolest wedding ring story. It was made from what 20 millimeter.
20 millimeter shell that Shane, the guy at the show last night, fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was an actual gun run on terrorists, and they saved the brass because they don't deposit out of the plane, and then they made his wife made a wedding ring out of the brass that killed the fucking dude.
Why
Ex-wife.
didn't you? But still, you should have just worn on your right hand.
That's what I'm saying.
I still have it.
Okay.
Yes, I
I was about
still.
to say.
Is that for Heather when you guys get married
still-
in Vegas? Oh, can we announce it yet?
Yeah, we can. We
No,
can.
well, you can't read.
Congratulations.
They're getting married on March
can't reuse
26th with Celine Dion. No, could you imagine?
Oh, my
We're not
God.
that close. We're not that far off, actually.
No.
Not that far off.
I don't know why
Oh,
I
it's
wanted to
April
vomit when you
26th?
said Celine Dion.
Because she's here every day, and
And
she's going to let you on that fucking door.
We'll always love you.
No, bodyguard.
That's Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Oh, shit.
R.I.P. Whitney.
I don't even know what
R.I.P.
she's
Whitney.
What
I'm
is
still
it?
thinking
What is
about
it?
her.
It's fucking Dolly Parton. What are you guys talking
yeah,
about?
Celine Dion.
What's Celine Dion?
My heart will
Working
go
9
on.
to 5. I'm kidding. That's Dolly
the-
Parton.
the Titanic.
The Titanic.
Yeah, my heart will go on.
Every night in my dreams.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I've heard that before.
You know what? He could have fit on that fucking door, too.
Wow.
sang.
Yeah,
He
that's
could've.
sad.
He would have lived.
Dumb.
He would have
They
lived.
could have.
Yeah, there's a diagram.
Yeah.
They
There's a
could've done
diagram that
better,
shows
right? They
how
could've
many
just been
different
like,
ways
Oh, this is
he
stupid.
could have fit on the door.
We'll just like cut it in half to where like her arms still have to be in, but her core is like kept up and she'll
Right,
live.
because at least survivability, like he could have lived another couple hours, but he just quit, and then the whole like I'm just gonna drown, motherfucker.
Well,
like,
she
come
quit
on.
him. Is the way it. That's what it looked like to me.
Probably.
Dude, and this is
could've
where
fit.
like we shoot the what if she saved Jack, and then it just fast forwards like 3 years. They're in New York in a shitty 1-bedroom apartment.
Right.
They're yelling at
hating
each other.
Yeah.
Her hair's a mess.
I
She's
love that.
pregnant.
I love
like he's God. I
can't-
should have just fucking died.
You
in
can't
that
make
fucking
any
Titanic.
money as a fucking artist, you cunt.
Yeah.
Go out and get a job like a real man. Like a real fucking man.
I should have got with that
I
rich
shoulda-
guy that wanted
Yeah.
to rape me.
I should have
Damn
fucking died there. I should have just let myself fucking die.
I posed nude for you. I was nude. These nipples were yours, you fuck.
I like that.
Nobody wants those nipples anymore. Look at
Model
you.
T,
Yeah.
you fucking cheap bitch.
How big are her nipples?
Son of a bitch.
Wait, whoa,
Bigger
whoa.
than a pepperoni.
How big are nipples
I
big?
bet you they're pretty big.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
but do you
wait,
like
hold on.
got that
Wait,
like,
can I steal this conversation
I
real
love a
quick?
nice
Yeah.
areola.
Hit me
Let,
up.
let me steal this conversation. I'm start with you, TJ. What like nipple size? Because I feel like that is a preference. That's like
Oh, yeah.
beer,
That's
right?
what
I think-
like give me your perfect nipple.
$50, 50-cent piece is perfect.
Really?
There we go.
Okay.
There we go,
50 cent.
TJ.
50 cent, and then are you talking? So there's like inverted nipples, outward nipples, long nipples. Do you want like
Let's say medium.
Do you a Tootsie Roll nipple?
Medium is
So just
nice.
like a nice,
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
perky boob.
Hey,
Perfect
you know
little
what?
perk.
While we're on
little
the
perkster
subject
is-
of nipples,
is perfect.
I don't have any.
At
What?
all.
I do not have
No,
nipples.
it's bullshit.
No,
they're just really small.
They're just inverted.
Yeah, they're small.
You have inverted.
Dots. I literally
You
have like red dots. So here's the deal.
Eddie Murphy nipples.
I am more of a man than you guys.
Well, I don't know.
Nipples.
Okay.
Well, I was like defending myself. I'm like, you are pretty tough. And I was
Yeah,
like,
fuck it.
oh,
Yeah,
because
you
the
got
small
it.
nipples.
Because
yeah.
with that, I want to bring up UFC
men-
66
men
when you
are-
lost to Keith Jardine and we're crying in the corner.
Who's an awesome guy. This guy, right? It's for the jugular.
Hey,
can't wait.
Is that real?
I
Is
don't
that real?
condone
Oh
that.
yeah.
Is that
so
like,
as
that's
as,
a real number
yes.
and
like
a real
as you like become a man? I'm glad you're a fan. Of Keith Jardine.
And I will fuck you
I
up
did not
at any
condone
moment
that
now.
message. I didn't set him up
So-
for that.
But like what I think like men are losing nipples. It's like an evolution thing.
I think
it
he's
serves
right.
no
I think he's
fucking
right, by
I
the
purpose.
think
way,
we're gaining nipples because it's the pussification of
Well,
American male, and I
it's
think that you came from like
so
a
much
Neanderthal
goddamn
because you're
soy.
so fucking tough,
long.
you know.
We all
Yeah.
are. We're all
Like,
only
you're like a
Neanderthal.
smart
I think the
Neanderthal.
nipple will eventually erase, but we need you and I because the nipple size you're talking about. That's my jam. That's
Yeah,
my fucking
same,
jam.
bro.
I go sand dollars.
Man, I'll tell
you're
you
saying
what.
50 cent pieces. I like maybe a half inch bigger sand dollars. Like
Sand
a nice
dollars
sand
are
dollar that's
pretty
just washed
good
up on the
size,
teeth.
bro.
No,
It
I'm
depends.
good. I'm
Depends
good.
on the. It depends
You
on
know,
the
where
season.
are you?
That's a lot of.
Yeah.
You know, sand
If I want
dollars
a sand
are
dollar, I
big,
go to the
dude.
fucking beach, man.
This, yeah, that's
Sand
what I'm
dollars
saying.
What
are
do you think
big, bro.
about the
You gotta
What do
go
you think
Florida.
about Pierce nipples?
Oh,
That's
boy.
a turn on for me.
It is for a one night stand. They're
Hey,
not good
so
in a
of
relationship.
your 2 million listeners, like 7, 8 of those are women.
Yeah, no.
14% actually.
14%.
That's pretty good.
All right.
which is a weird
We have
statistic.
a lot of women that actually engage with us about the show.
Well, across
So
all of our social media, it's
15%
about
of the UFC roster is female.
Yeah,
no.
it is.
I'm
So similar.
Would you fuck any of those 15%? Let's be real.
No, because I work for the UFC.
And he's married. And he's married.
And I'm married. Thank you.
But
As fuck.
let's be honest. Nobody's looking at Cyborg going, man, I could really go reverse cowgirl.
I think so, because then it's like,
real?
does your
No, they're
wife
not.
even get
They're
mad?
not.
Because you're like, you pretty much banged a dude. And then granted, this is all respect to Cyborg, because
Yeah,
she's a phenomenal
it's not,
athlete.
Though. It's not. There's literally been no respect to Cyborg.
No, she's
Poor
completely
Cyborg.
disrespected on this.
Was that not respectful?
Yeah, there's no way. Like, in fact,
And she
let's
is
change the
definitely,
topic.
yeah, let's
Yeah,
just change it. Dude. I like
No,
reverse
she's
cowgirl.
champion. She's
a fucking
the
beast.
You can't save it. You can't save it. There's no coming back from it.
I said I would
Here's-
sleep with her. That was
He did. He
I'm
said-
very specific with
He
my
said he would
penis
fuck
these
her,
days.
but I'll say this:
Oh,
like,
boy.
I'll go a step further. I'd fuck Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey.
I don't even want to
This
say that.
is
Holly's
the
such a
worst.
sweetheart.
Jesus
God.
I would
Worse.
fuck
Yeah,
Holly
dude. You're not
just
fucking.
because
It's only
she,
getting worse.
She beat the shit out of a girl that I actually had a thing with for a while.
You know,
Who was it?
She was up in Alaska. I'm not saying that.
The
I
old,
can't say
the old
name.
Alaskan sea bass is what we used to
But
call her.
there
We
is,
didn't call her
there
that.
All
is
right,
an
segue.
awesome
So,
photo.
Forrest,
There's
you-
an awesome photo of Holly Holm kicking her in the head. So just to cllose that circle would be
Yeah,
be
a
good.
little
So
Alaskan
you
sea bass.
live in Vegas full time, right?
yeah, we live like.
And you do too, right, TJ?
Yeah, yep. Born and raised.
Born and raised.
Born and raised.
Yeah. This is my house.
I
This
got
is where I
13
live.
years.
It's great.
13
Shit.
years.
Do you guys like
My
Vegas?
daughter was born here.
It's the best city in the world, man.
How's your daughter?
6.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Only kid or?
Yeah. No, we tried, man. It's just, overpopulation and shit. We're just better than you guys. There's just like less kids.
Well, they got. I have 0 kids. Jared has 3, and Ross has 1.
One
That he knows
I have
of.
one child. Yeah, there could be one on the way. I felt good
What
when
was
I
that?
didn't pull out. There could be one on the way.
What was it?
I felt good when I didn't pull out on the way.
Oh, that's always good.
You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like
It's like a good solid handshake where you're like, I'm pretty sure that guy respects me, but you
Yep.
don't know necessarily,
and
but
every
you felt
time
good
I
about
have
it.
sex and not pull out, I know. Like I'll look at him and say, "Hey, congratulations, you're with child. You're with child." And then I'll extend my arms in a Jesus formation. You're with child.
You're
a G.
And then I'll leave the
14% is like 12 now.
Have you
It's
ever
just
hit
like-
the lottery?
No, but you know what I did do? I got this bread at Carrabba's, and I just cut off a piece, and I said, "Here's my body." I treated myself like Jesus. I dropped a piece of bread on her.
Oh, it took you a second to get there.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
that was that.
He got
He
there.
was there.
And the wine was the blood. The wine is the blood. But
That's called a period, and you can't get pregnant.
wow, you can and you can't.
I have
you
a
know?
great wine story. So I was the altar boy.
Were you really?
All right.
As you take a sip of Budweiser.
I was an altar boy.
the altar boy.
And I really liked it. Catholic church. I dug it. I was like hip to be Catholic. I like looked up to the priest and Father Costigan. He was fucking badass. He was awesome. He would do yard work in Georgia summers in like his like full on like priest attire, like long sleeve black shirt,
Just-
like in like doing like the yard work.
What
like,
type of was he
priest.
mowing? Was he mowing a yard? What
No,
was
he was
doing?
like moving trees, like pulling dead trees out and stuff, like in his
Jesus.
like
in the full
vestibule.
priest.
Yeah.
White collar, the
Like,
whole shit.
no joke. So the older kids like pretty much forced me to drink a little wine before the thing. So I fall asleep. And this is like the first day. There's like maybe 500 people in our congregation. Like the first day he wore a mic on his lapel. The first day, never done it before. And I wake up because, the first time I drank alcohol, I'm like 12 and I didn't really feel good. So I like fall asleep on the stage, like with everybody looking at you. And I
off
wake
of
up.
wine? Off of wine?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's staring at me, and I'm like, oh shit. So I run over there with the good book, and then as I get to him, I realize he's saying the body and blood of Jesus, just as you are, and I was like, oh shit, I was supposed to get the bread and wine. He's about to do the thing where he puts the wine in the
Communion.
water.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And he looks down and he's like, God damn it. But just like under his breath, but right into the mic. So everybody hears it. So
Everybody in the church heard him say,
You
God
made
damn
a priest say the G damn. dude.
So
came
I
out.
ran over, put the book there. He was awesome, though. Ran over, brought the wine back. The way it worked was your name would be on a sign-up sheet. My name was never on the sign-up sheet again. I didn't tell my mom what happened for like 10 years. I just started going. I went like across and worked in the nursery. Like, so I would just go, my mom would drop me off every Sunday, like, hey, whatever, and be like, well, where are you? Oh, they moved me to the nursery, Mom.
And was she
'cause they
like,
didn't
God
know.
damn it, Forrest? You're like, I tell him, make everybody say that.
Oh, man, yes. Yeah.
Love it.
That's my pre-story. I mean,
See, priest.
touch
That's a pretty good pre-story.
I'm
Tell the
looking at
truth.
TJ Lavin knowing he's got no pre-story. You have no pre-story, do you?
No.
No,
Are you joking me?
he started as a degenerate teenager
Yeah,
and
dude.
never left.
I get it.
Did I tell you I was born in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Like,
And you know he bought his house when you were what, 19 or 23?
19.
19.
First one.
And then your house now.
second
you're
one.
TJ
23.
is like the
21.
least
21.
degenerate person I know,
That
other
is
than
true.
like mild
Yeah.
brain damage. She's
Yeah.
really not a degenerate.
Mild.
At all. Yeah, mild.
And
whatever.
ouch.
Comparatively,
I
look at the
take
rest of
I
you
take
guys.
pride in my TBI. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
It made me who I am. Fucking short-term memory is terrible, and you know,
It's so awesome though when people
what?
come up to you and
What's
they,
awesome?
they say,
Short-term
"Hey
memory.
man, good to see you," and you're like,
Yeah. Kidding.
"Sorry man, I hit
That's
my
where you
head."
get to know that. I've learned this because I've been yelled at enough. It's always nice to meet you because every time I'm like, or nice to see you, excuse me,
nice
because
to
I'm like,
see
nice
you.
to meet you, and they're like, we fucking met
Yeah.
4 years ago, bitch. I'm like,
Yeah, 4 years
"Whoa."
ago.
I'm like, I'm sorry, you have a beard and tattoos
So
like all of us.
you
My
know what's
bad.
funny? I got this habit where I just grab people and go, "Hey, where do we know each other from again?"
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
know
yeah,
I-
yeah.
And they're like, "No, we've never met." I'm like, "Whoa."
Yeah,
Sorry,
but you
go
can't
ahead.
you can't overcommit because if you're like,
Oh, no, I
man, so
overcommit.
where do we know each other
You're
from? Like
the-
we've never met, and you're
yeah.
like, dude, you look like
I've got to buy for that because I started going good to see you again. Rarely do they say, I've never seen
Did
you.
you dye
Yeah.
your hair?
But
Did
I
you,
did.
What the fuck?
You did.
You are.
You did.
What the
Dirty
fuck?
guy.
Yeah,
I
you
just
cute
wondered,
bastard.
why is your hair
I thought
a
it was the
different
lighting
color
when I
than your
walked.
beard?
You dyed it brown.
Listen, you gotta
What?
color up.
What?
If I learned anything,
No, this
wrong.
doesn't make any
gotta
sense.
color
still
up.
have gray in there,
It's
though.
like a
So
different
weird.
color than your beard. Dude, gray hair is awesome. Also, I mean, I'm
Listen,
very-
Are you?
My
Are you
barber
going
was
gray?
my barber was a very good salesman. She was Russian, so we were talking Russian back
Yeah,
then.
no, she gave you red hair.
I don't know. She brought out a color palette. She's like, you look.
I mean, the cut-
You would look really good.
the cut
if you
looks
did
fine,
these." I was like,
but-
all right.
She's
Yeah,
trying to take you back to the
okay.
motherland.
the
dude.
cut looks good.
It's funny, dude.
The tie into the beard looks
I
good.
wish Evan was here. He would.
The color of your hair looks horrible though. It's like
And it definitely doesn't.
You'll come to
I
the
saw
right
that.
color.
I was like, dude, there's no way he colored his hair. Like,
That's
the
what I'm
dude's all
thinking.
man.
Listen, I
Like,
got taken. I was at the mall.
I thought he got
even-
like
they even got me to
trim
wipe
it
my
and the
teeth.
color changes.
did they? Did you
Yeah.
put like a crazy thing in
Yeah,
there?
with the light on.
No way.
Yeah.
You did.
Look at that.
Did Evan get under your skin yesterday?
You mean this morning?
Well, he's always in your ass,
Well, so
metaphorically
here's
and
the thing.
physically.
In Jared's defense, since look, you have a new girlfriend.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
have a new life
bought a
change.
suit today.
sometimes you just
Coloring
gotta-
up takes about
You
3
do
or 4
look good.
passes before you find the right color. Somebody will find that for you. So that's understandable.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
understandable.
It's a good call.
Yes. Yeah, yes.
good call.
Getting
You-
a suit and getting your teeth whitened, like that is a. These are all positive
see this.
steps forward in the life
Not
of
the,
Jared
the hair
Taylor.
dyeing though. I don't know about that.
No,
gotta-
I just own it.
If you've got a young face because he's a young guy, you got to color up. Yeah,
No,
he's
you
too
don't.
young.
That's that Hollywood bullshit.
It's not. He's
engraved
too young.
in you.
How old are you?
He's only 31.
32.
32.
You're 32?
Gray hair is
32.
awesome, dude. I don't know what you're talking
It'd be
about.
32
that was-
again.
I-
Did you have
I-
gray hair at 32?
that-
I'm 31.
No,
so-
probably not.
Exactly. That's
That
what
was
I'm
the
saying. Like,
feedback,
yes.
though, is as soon as Heather saw
Hey,
it,
we
she
gotta
goes,
go,
I
man.
love
We
your
don't
gray.
fucking talk to anybody under 40. What the fuck?
Depends on the
Yeah,
person.
you guys are young.
These guys are all
you're
like children.
dyeing your hair. I'm just-
God damn
You're
it.
not 40
We're
yet.
almost
Hey,
just
don't
dead.
lump. I did not dye my hair,
Dude, we're
so don't
almost
lump
gone,
me in
bro.
there.
You're
I
not
want to
40
bring this
yet,
back to
right?
UFC 66.
Are you just turned 40?
When you're-
Wow.
41.
Oh,
Nope.
fuck.
Dude, well,
yeah.
he didn't like it the first time. I'll
Yeah.
bet he really won't like it. The
So that's
second time.
that's
Hey,
what we call getting a guest off the show very
you're-
quickly.
you're-
I would like
you're-
to maintain a relationship
you're-
in some capacity.
Did
So-
that over
so-
and over again.
You know, you started it with Jeremy Horn, who's also knocked me the fuck out. Here's the thing.
But hold on, I did not
Here's the
bring that
thing.
up. I
No,
just
no.
said that
Here's the
I
great
trained
thing.
at his gym and he's a
Jeremy
phenomenal
Horn
guy.
and Keith Jardine are both awesome human beings.
Yes.
Like if you have to get knocked out by somebody, those are cool people to get
Keith
knocked
was on
out.
a
For
by.
sure. And also,
Keith is the great people, right?
He's just a nice guy
No.
the whole day.
Also,
here's-
Wait, was it not
he's
a
like
commission,
joking.
Jeremy?
He's sweet.
we're joking to the nth level of
So many people talking.
Sorry.
Matt. Well, Matt is trained. You've trained from a normal, like I want to say civilian
I
perspective.
can beat most normal humans up.
Correct.
Yes, that's all you need. That's
all I
all
need.
you need.
The reason why we
And
joke
that's
when,
what
when
I
we
try
have
to
UFC
maintain.
fighters on
Yeah.
the show is you're at a level that is so far beyond anybody else.
I'm
That's
just-
what a lot of
I'm
people don't
not.
realize.
I'm just
You get
trying to
knocked out-
beat
you get
up
knocked out
dads
any
at the
night.
park.
Exactly.
Thank you. And that,
I'm just like, accidents, like, when you like, road rage incidents. Like, I'm just like, preparing myself for the bar when the shit goes
That's
down.
all I'm at with like training. It's just
I'm
like
not-
I'm gonna have the drunk guy haymaker
Like,
me, so I
I
have to have good
realize-
enough head movement to fucking bob and weave, cover up.
I'm gonna
throw
show up,
1, 2, 3
I'm
down the
gonna
pipe.
move,
Yeah, and we're
I'm
good.
gonna drop the liver shot, bang bang. People don't see the liver shot coming.
No,
in a street
they
fight.
never do. If you throw a
catch
body,
somebody in the
that's
liver,
what I love. You throw a body shot or a leg kick in a street fight, it changes the psychology
You gotta
because they're
be
like,
careful with
what
the
was
leg
that?
kick because
What?
it's easy to get countered over a bad leg kick. And also,
you set it up
I have
right.
actually fallen over a chair in a bar doing that. I was just thinking back to like one of my first fights.
God, I love this.
And you know what I remember? I remember the taste of the kid's hairspray because he was beating the fuck
the
out
little
of me.
things, dude. It's the little things. Yes.
He was well taste. Somebody must have been wearing
That's
the
like
same
my
hairspray.
my uncle that dip spit in his mouth. Wait, what?
But it's the little things you remember, right?
No, but like he had me like in a headlock. There was nothing I could do. He's like beating the crap out of me, and I just was like, I just took a big bite like out of the side of his head, not even anywhere that would hurt you. And I just remember thinking like, God, hairspray, you eat too much hairspray, dude. Like seriously, calm down. Like, come on.
Have you ever been like in a
Mike
street
Tyson.
fight?
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I've been in like
Because
50 or
we're
60.
good friends with Kid Cope, and he had.
Oh, well, Kid Cope's an asshole. He goes looking for him.
I can validate that, being his former boss and
Yeah,
things. But he's
I
a
worked
good guy.
security
Yeah,
at a bar,
when you're
and I was a
135
cop,
pounds,
and,
you want to
know,
fight. You know.
Yeah. What are,
I mean,
what
I'm
are some of the ones
naturally-
where somebody
And we
made
love
the
you, kid.
horrible mistake?
No, see, that's the thing. That's why I go fucking balls to the wall in a street fight, because I know that when somebody hits the ground, I'm a decent guy and I'm not going to start punting their head. But I've seen too many videos on the internet where somebody goes down and the other guy's like, pissing on him, kicking him, doing something. You know?
That's most everybody's first response is when you're kicking the shit out of somebody and you're so angry about it. It's how do I get the last thing that's going to end this in anger?
See, I don't agree with
Pissing,
that. I
kicking
miss
somebody.
like I truly believe we talk about this a lot in the podcast. I wish because it's like all the internet trolls, right? And we do a bunch like viral shit that gets millions and millions of views. And you always have fucking dudes calling you out and stuff, right? So you're
Way
just
to
like,
brag about that. Just
Yeah, you
humble,
like-
humble brag.
it was,
brag,
it was
bro.
a humble brag. It was a humble
It's a
brag.
humble brag.
But it's
The humble
just
brag. It's
Millions and millions.
Nobody
No,
receives more hate than
Ah,
this
what
guy.
do we get?
We got like
We got
35
12
motherfuckers.
views, man.
I'm
Well,
gonna try harder, okay?
Between
so
the two of us,
okay,
maybe
that's
you don't get a
20.
participation
You do
award.
try
Hey,
hard.
we
here in Black
actually,
Rifle.
but we don't try at all.
Yeah, you do try harder.
So there.
It's not very hard to try harder than us.
Tough crowd
What
here.
were you saying? What were you
No,
saying?
the whole thing with that is just like I miss like those old like 1950s fight or the random once in a while YouTube videos where people have a disagreement. They go to the street, they beat the fuck out of each other, and if one guy clips a guy, he falls down, he picks him back up and goes, "You still want to go?"
Are we clear?
I
Are we
fucking
straight?
love
That's
that.
cool.
It's not the fucking stomp your face in because the
No.
problem with these kids is they don't know like that's permanent brain damage. You
No,
can
no,
kill
yeah.
fucking people.
Well,
It's just
and-
like
Dude,
get
Not
the
to
fucking
mention,
emotion out with your fist and call it a day,
here's
brother.
the other thing.
You're in trouble.
on video.
Yeah.
You're
know?
going to get sued like a son of a. You're going to get sued. You're going to
Oh,
get
yeah.
charges pressed. Yeah, I hate
Why would
watching
you-
those.
Man, that's too much, dude. If you beat somebody's ass,
I think some people don't realize when a person's done. Like
Get the
they've
fuck
never
out of there.
Like
They've never done
clipped
it.
somebody.
Well, it's an
seen,
ego
like,
thing
their
too, right?
legs.
If you've never knocked somebody out, you knock them out. You have that spike of endorphins. If there's a crowd, they're like, "Oh, look at me, stomp, stomp, stomp," because
Yeah.
they have that like, "I'm the alpha,
and then
I'm the best."
even
and-
then though, I'm like, man, why does nobody just calmly go over? Hey, man, we're cool. You got it.
or
You
just
won.
fucking pull them
Great
off and
job.
be like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah.
let's not kill the fucking 18-year-old that you got mad over a girlfriend that no one will remember in 3
card.
years."
Streets is real. Streets
Well,
is real.
the thing
Holmes.
is like if that goes down, I'm finding you and I'm blowing your knee out like from the back. You know, I'm not. You're never gonna see me coming, but there's gonna be a shotgun at your knee. You're never gonna know, but that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I need to tell my that's when
I
you
take
fucking,
that shit personal.
You case them for 6 months, let them know that
Yeah.
you don't know you're following them. You fucking break both their kneecaps with a baseball bat, steal their wallet, throw it in the trash can.
Man,
Oh, it was a
I-
fucking robbery. No, it was premeditated fucking assault because you're a bitch.
but you're gonna take the cash out first.
Oh fuck
yeah,
yeah,
a couple hundy. You know,
Goddamn right, TJ.
actually, I hope it's only $6. So it's like I fucking broke her knees for $6.
Yeah.
And
Your
I'm gonna
knees got fucking
buy a cheeseburger and then throw it away.
I'm gonna
and
take
be
the
like-
cash and I'm gonna actually destroy the cash
Hey,
because it
can
may
we
have
get
their
the-
fingerprints
Exactly.
on.
I'm gonna burn
I'm
all
just
that.
taking it out to make it look like I robbed
Fuck
it.
it. I'm gonna go to the family tree sites. I'm gonna find
You
the
know
whole
what?
goddamn
Fuck
fam-
this shit.
I'm
Let's
gonna
go
burn
get
them up.
somebody.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't really have any
I'm gonna
enemies.
go to Ancestry.com and burn all the motherfucking houses down.
Hey, I
Speaking
think
of which,
that
TJ,
super fucked up and
you've
just
won
take to the
7
streets.
X Games medals. I'm kidding. I just wanted to,
Hey,
like,
can
the
we
worst segue ever.
can we please just give the cheeseburger to a homeless guy?
Yes.
See, now we're talking.
Thank you.
TJ's the best.
So I will say
he
this.
really is.
Jared did an awesome thing. So we fucking did this rap battle thing with Cops and Fire way back in the day, and we had a nice company donate a shit ton of like gear, like a firefighter. Yeah, 511 actually. Cool stuff for thing, and then we're not gonna wear this fucking firefighter jacket, but it's super warm. It was like a fucking $400 jacket. So Jared donated all the clothes to the homeless guys right outside of our office. In
I love that area.
Salt Lake City. So
Yeah.
every day, because he was like, you can't just take this and fucking sell it. You have to wear it. And he's like, it's Salt Lake City. I will wear it. And every day he's in his firefighter jacket. And he's like, giving us the thumbs up. Like, we love you.
I'll give you this jacket, but you better not sell it.
Dude,
I
that
wanna
is
see you
so
wear it every
badass,
day.
man.
Wear it every
You know
day.
what?
Because it's a bright fucking
Yellow,
bright
right?
yellow with
Yeah.
fucking giant reflective banners.
You know
on
what?
it.
I have turnouts. That's turnout jacket. I have those at my house. I'm gonna do the same
Dude,
thing.
this is
That's
prized
perfect.
possession now.
That's a great
It's
idea.
prized possession.
That is a great idea because I was like, what am I gonna do with these turnouts, man? Now that I got fired from the fire department, like, what am I gonna do with these turnouts? I'm like, fuck it, I'll just
by
keep
the
them
way,
whatever.
The
And then-
last show we had him on, he was about to enter the fire academy. His stint has since
Yeah, what
he's gone a
happened?
different
It
direction.
only took a month. I got the record, but it's I'm where I need to be now. You know, I mean, I had lunch with the captain the other day. Now is the chief, and he was like, man, I never saw anybody like you. He's like, all heart, man. And I was like, yeah, cool. And I go, but I really shit the bed a lot of times. He's
Humble
like,
brag.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, you really shit the bed. I was like, yeah. So he goes, look, if you ever want to try it again, no, man, I'm good. He goes, really? I go, yeah, man. I was driving down the freeway
If
right
you ever
there.
want to try it again, just probably don't.
Nah. I go.
walk away.
I was
Just
driving
walk
in the
away.
freeway, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna stay in my lane.
Like
That was it. And he was like, I like that. I may use that.
and
So
Forrest, how long have you been friends with him?
That's a funny
Well-
story.
Yeah. How did you
We
guys
don't-
meet? It's
Well,
two polar
let's get
opposites
this.
of
But what
it
I'm
was
saying
like-
real
it was
quick
like-
is,
yeah.
you knowing him like I know him, I don't think his heart could handle being a firefighter for about 6 months. The
No,
shit
no,
that,
no,
that he
I-
would have to see, I think it would start picking
No,
him apart.
I don't.
And
I
that would-
disagree. I think he would just like, try and do better.
Yeah,
I think he would like be like, I'm going to help more people.
yeah. Now he's being a firefighter.
I don't
in 4
know.
different
Being
cities.
a firefighter as a paramedic's a pretty rough job when you're
Oh, yeah.
fucking scraping kids off the goddamn
Yeah.
interstate.
Yeah.
That's a rough one, dude.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a rough one.
Yeah. So I could have done that easily, and I did like in my 20s. Couldn't do that shit now. Now that I have a kid and I'm 40, no way, man.
Are you 40?
I'm afraid so. I didn't mean to be, but shit just fucking happened.
That's a good age, man.
I mean,
same.
You look it.
You guys-
I'm kidding.
I'm doing all right for 40. It's
DJ,
fucking
how old are you?
Keith Jardine want to be over
41.
here.
Oh.
Hey,
You
for
guys
real,
are still
we're gonna
not,
go
like,
in the
handsome.
backyard and fight though. Me and this guy have to.
You got a
for
cool
Georgia
present
Pride.
for your 40th
Georgia Pride.
birthday, didn't
I thought you were saying me. I was like,
you got
I'm
something
good.
cool for your 40th birthday.
Hey,
didn't you?
where'd you go to
Like a
college?
present from somebody? I thought you showed me something cool.
Oh yeah, the bike. I got a frame.
Yeah, your first Specialized.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a
Did you do the elbow
specialized
pop thing,
signature
too?
bike.
Not as good as you. Not as good as you, actually.
I'm a
That was-
one-upper.
yeah.
I have a big ego.
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
Yeah, he does.
I did it again. It wasn't.
You know what?
Sometimes I just ego shit. You know what I mean?
I went to school at The Ohio State University.
Really?
Do you know one of the big UFC legends was from there?
Mark Coleman,
Yes. And God, he had blonde hair.
Kevin Randleman,
Canova Randleman.
who passed away and
He
had
did.
the worst.
He did.
Staph infection ever.
So-
So I went to University of Georgia, but I was actually
Oh, you
born in
did?
Columbus, Ohio,
Did you feel that?
and I love. It's pretty amazing.
Marvel.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I know it's
or-
right.
He could
or
use
Plato,
about
whatever.
2 years at your
Forrest-
facility.
So
please.
Tell your story, yeah.
but Ohio State was actually,
Great
one of my
school.
favorite colleges.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
But I went to a better school, Georgia.
I know you touched his
Second
muscles,
best
and
school there
I
is.
want to.
I mean, I touched
They lost in the
something.
national
I want to call Ross
Lost
out
the
on
national
this, and he
championship.
doesn't want me
Yeah,
to.
so
but it's
Falcons
okay.
are my other team. They lost the
Same. I was
big
at the
game
game.
too.
I was
yeah.
at the game. The
All right,
worst.
you are. He's a one-upper too.
No,
He is.
no, it was.
I didn't even watch the second half.
You
'cause-
shouldn't. You shouldn't.
'cause I don't
'cause-
even
'cause
care.
Being at the game is not even a humble brag because it was the worst experience of my life.
No, I don't.
I
go
wish
there.
I could have traded that in.
Other than the UFC, I really don't go to events where there are people. If there's a
brag.
concert with like
I've
five,
been going to UFC.
No,
every
but I mean,
fucking
like-
one of them.
Yeah.
With
Other than
cage
being a
shots,
legend
you
and
know,
showing up as an announcer,
Hall of Famer.
analyst,
Pretty much
Hall of
the
Fame.
reason.
I mean,
that's literally just the thing I do.
They just call me the reason for
don't
the
worry,
UFC.
after
You
this
know,
podcast,
that
I'll be fired
billion-dollar
on Monday.
company. You
You'll
know,
be gone. You'll be
no
gone.
big deal.
What were we gonna ask, man?
Oh, I was just gonna poke fun at Ross Forrest because when you touched his so-called muscles. So
tried to flex?
one of my favorite stories of Ross and I is when we were shooting a commercial for his book. He's an author. We actually wrote a book together.
Yes.
And segue on that was your book was hilarious. I love the narrative that you wrote it in. It's very just like fuck you and bro-ish.
Oh,
how we are.
hey.
It's great. That's
Yeah.
how we kind of
Yeah.
wrote ours. So
You're
we sounded
welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Humble brag, you know.
Guideline. Yeah.
When I'm number one, you're bestseller. It's because Forrest Griffin.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I'm sorry. You're what? New York Times.
No, not
bestseller?
not yet. Well, hopefully.
Because I'm a 2-time
Are you?
New York Times bestseller.
You better start working on the sequel.
I've moved over 200,000 books.
That's phenomenal.
You know that he's
outta
going to
here.
write my
Yeah.
book?
That's
He's so
wait,
good
I
at
better
it.
be in that.
He's
Really?
going to write my book.
I want to be in it.
wait. You have a book in crayon. That's
I don't.
crazy.
I have nothing, actually.
I
but-
didn't know
Him
that's
and my
awesome, dude.
6-year-old are writing the book.
phenomenal.
Here's what I
That's
love.
cool.
So here will be the competition.
Okay.
In the contract, our bonus, our huge bonus for the book comes at 175. So
Yeah.
if he beats 175, you'll take Forrest.
No,
down.
no. Well, to be honest, we're talking
then you
2
owe him a
books.
nice
2 books
gift.
to break. I did 2
Matt's
books
is
to
one.
break. Huh?
So wait, but the publisher,
Yeah,
the
well,
publisher
okay.
thought so much of Matt that they set that at 1. So we'll see.
So, but seriously, reach out to me. I something else I do moderately well is I write like the little intros to books. Or like the
forward.
things that are, or
Or
like,
on the back where it's
Yeah,
like, this
yeah.
book
A
made
nice
me
little
vomit.
blurb
Forrest
forward,
Griffin.
yeah. great,
like,
yeah.
you know.
I would let you preview the book. I have to let DOD approve it because that is a whole process in itself. That whole
Affirmative
killing
defense.
people thing
That is
really
awesome.
offsets
Yeah.
them.
Well,
But
it's not the killing; it's the talking about the killing.
Yeah,
That really
exactly.
Killing's
Exactly.
done.
You know what's funny, man? After hanging out with him, look, Matt and these guys were obviously a massive, massive fan. You're really fucking funny. And I noticed lately they're taking fighters and putting them in entertainment jobs. Brendan
Such
Shaw.
as podcasts.
No. But Brendan Shaw.
Fighter on the Kid, he made it big time. Big time.
Brendan Shaw was co-hosting the event for the Golden Globes on the red carpet for people's outfits, and I was like, wait. I mean, it really threw me the fuck off.
Brendan Schwab has a good fucking agent. That's all I know.
was
That
Brendan,
dude gets
a
a
gay
lot of
guy,
work.
a
Yeah,
black
but now
lady, and I
Brendan
was
is
like,
also
oh.
doing solo stand-up.
Yeah,
Yes.
he had. He's doing the Joe Rogan
But I
theory,
mean,
Is
where
that
he goes
something you would
around.
like to do? Because you're a really fucking funny guy.
Well, I do some stand up. I got about 12 tight minutes. It's nice. It's good.
A
But here's
nice
the
12?
thing. No, nice 12.
12's a lot, though, for a fucking stand-up.
Not bad. It's not bad. 15 would be better, but
I mean, it would. 13 would be better. I mean, Keith
I feel like this is
Keith
like a
Jardine
huge,
could
like,
probably
chest
do
bump
better.
It is
at the
a
table.
massive one, and
Yeah.
here
Wait,
I am.
is it me? Is it me?
No, it's a little bit of everybody.
Hey, look.
You can't have chili without all the
I'm
ingredients.
just fighting back.
I would,
I'm
I
just
would
fighting
too, bro.
back.
Hey, I'm with you, man. I'm right
Don't
behind
worry,
you.
don't worry.
We're all
Nobody
huge
can
fans.
understand it. There's like 4 people talking at one time. Nobody can understand a fucking thing we're saying.
Dave, can they
Worst
hear?
one ever.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Is it terrible?
This is called Drinkin Bros, conversations.
Like
No, it's
literally, if the
yeah.
if you
the
weren't in
audience
the
will
room,
figure it out.
you don't get
They
it.
will. They will.
I will. The
It's
hardest.
an episode you have to listen to 4 times.
The hardest part about this without our headphones is you can't hear it feedback,
Right.
so you can just talk like a normal conversation.
Right.
With other people talking.
Either
so.
way, the audience will
That's
get it.
the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Among
So okay,
many.
the
Yes.
story I wanted to tell you was so we
Your
went
book.
the book thing. So we were for his book. We were filming a commercial.
Yes.
And so I'm on a horse, and Jared, my business partner and longtime friend, decides to drive a drone over the horse's head multiple times.
That was
to
the
tell,
that was the
first
plan.
to tell it goes,
colorist.
hey
The plan
Matt,
from the
you
beginning.
First time
should
colorist.
probably get the fuck off the horse. I, pretty much nearly shatter my knee, break my arm, put my teeth through my lip, whatever. Right? I get up, start walking back. Ross is on a cow, a young cow, which he'll call a bull, and he got like a little thorn in this side.
Not true.
And that night I'm all fucking hung up
He's
in
in
the fucking
two
thing, like,
casts.
yeah, fucking popping Vicodins like they're going out of style. And Ross is like, I got
Oh, wait.
mauled by a fucking bull.
I got gored by a bull that day.
Hold on, time out.
Got
So
gored by
you
a bull
really
that
you
day.
fell off then or jumped
I
off?
got
Jumped off
bucked.
the horse.
I got bucked pretty bad.
Dude,
Wow.
you will get bucked by a horse if you fly a drone around a horse because they think it's bees.
Bees. Thank you.
Yeah.
The first time it's like,
Yeah,
the
dude,
horse
you
and we
can't
calmed it
do
down.
that.
And I was like, oh god, and it's like, and I saw it coming back. I'm like, no.
So what'd you do to get him? Because man, at my age, we don't fuck with each other like that because we're tired.
he
of,
didn't mean to.
We're
were
tired of
doing a
being
shoot.
fucked up.
The whole plan was using the drone to videotape this. whole
Ah,
ordeal.
okay.
If he purposely got me bucked
Well,
off
you
a
didn't
horse,
really tell her.
then
like
I would
that.
have.
Yeah. He told her like you were like, hey,
drones
I'm gonna
were
get
new.
this guy.
Drones were new.
And to be fair, the guy was like, these horses are solid.
True.
They're around
Yeah.
gunfire and loud tractors and everything. They don't give a fuck.
They're not around drones.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Nope.
they're not.
It's pretty fucking awesome seeing his hair.
Yeah.
God damn it,
is.
TJ.
Oh,
First
God,
time
yeah.
color.
He
First
dyed
time
his hair,
colorist.
Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan gives you a thumbs down.
Dan's giving you the thumbs down.
like his hair, dude?
Well, Dan,
It's
Dan has to
it's a
spend the
different
next
color than the
6
beard.
days with me, so he could take
You
that
know what you
thumbs
can
down
tell
and put it
people?
in his ass.
You going to Guatemala, Dan? No. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
My father-in-law, who died of a heart attack, he had like hair that color because he had to take this medicine for his heart. So you could just tell people you got a bad heart and that you're taking medicine for it, which I think would be less embarrassing. And people would just be like, it'd be less embarrassing that some crazy Russian bitch taught me to dye my hair.
Fucked up.
So I think you should do that, and then people they'll immediately shut up and be like, "Oh shit, man, I'm
You should
sorry."
have hooked the
Heart
eyebrows
condition.
up too, though, man.
She was Russian.
That would have been so sick, dude. Hey, what about the eyebrows, dude? For real.
It's very boy band
Let's
a
hook
little
up
bit.
the
Oh my
eyebrows.
god.
It makes you
eyebrows
look
up.
younger. It's a nice thing.
Oh, thanks.
I think it's a nice
You think it makes him look younger?
I do.
This fucking guy's not your friend.
We might need
not your friend. I
we
don't
might
care
need
what
some
it is.
heart medication for Jared just based off his eating habits. Like
Oh.
it's hot dogs and fucking vodka.
Yeah, so yesterday
I saw the chicken. I'm
we
like,
interviewed Pete Rose yesterday morning.
oh, that's
And
awesome.
So, yeah, right? It was fucking great.
Humble brag.
Badass.
He was
No,
fucking
no.
great.
No, I
dude.
mean, Pete Rose is kind of
Not even a humble brag because like I was like, great, we had set this up. I talked to the agent, like it was a big deal. We knew it was a big deal, and we were psyched. Jared, 5 minutes before the 10:30 in the morning, 10:25, he stops me and he goes, "Man, I could really use a hot dog." we're in MGM Grand, and I go, "Hey, bro, we're in the middle of MGM Grand. I don't think you can get any hot dogs over here." And he goes, "There's a Nathan's." And he looks in the distance. There was a Nathan's hot dog in the food court. And I go, "Jared, it is 10:25.
They're not open.
They're not open. They're not open." We get up there and they were like, "Sir, we don't open until 10:30, but we can get him 2 hot dogs." And it was, you would think that the big white dog from Neverending Story came out to give him a ride home. Like he was so amped. They made 2 dogs for him, and the only thing he asked for is onions. 10:25 in the morning. I'm gonna put some onions on these dogs.
Yeah,
Chopped
no, it's
onions
good
and
stuff.
mustard.
and
That's the way I love my dog.
Dijon mustard?
Wait,
No.
raw or
Hard.
the cooked
Regular.
onions? The raw onions, huh?
Yes, raw.
Raw.
No, I like
Raw
them cooked.
white
yeah.
onions.
You don't even
Strong.
like them
with you.
grilled, huh?
No, I like the crunch.
So, I mean, I sympathize with you. I probably get up a little earlier than you, but I've been like,
You dog out? You go 2 dog night?
no.
Actually, I don't know if you do. He
I've
gets up.
been-
What time do you wake up?
like 6.
Okay, but you're a 7 a.m. guy.
Voluntarily?
Right.
Yeah, well, I gotta get my
generally,
work
like
in
5,
for the
like,
day, yada,
if
yada.
Evan's texting.
The earlier you work out in the day, the more productive you are. The earlier you jerk off in the day, the less productive you are.
You've read
It's in
way
my
too many
book.
Navy SEAL books.
It's in my books.
Oh,
True,
okay.
yeah.
It's in my book.
Really?
But
It's in his
no,
book. He's
is
a
that true?
2-time New York Times.
What I
bestselling
work
author.
out in the morning and jack off in the morning. So where's that put
But
me?
yeah, balances out.
Okay.
It's perfect.
It cancels
So,
out.
oh yeah, no, I've been literally driving around from place to place, like while I was searching the internet on my phone, looking for a place that would serve me a sushi burrito at 10 a.m. Sometimes you just need a fucking sushi burrito.
There's
Sushi
a place in
burritos
Salt
are
Lake
so
City
fucking
called
lit.
Sushi Burrito.
Yeah,
of
no,
you
there's,
guys,
there's,
I
there's-
can't do it.
There's 3
hate
sushi
'em.
burritos
Ugh.
within a mile of us right
Can't
now.
even say that word.
I love it. Oh God,
I'm
you
with
want to talk about?
Teach. I'm with you, Teach. Yeah.
I hate it. I
I had a 4-hour period where I averaged $22 an hour on sushi burritos, and that was the best day of my life.
God, Forrest, it is not. God, that is
Your breath
that is
was
not
awesome.
what made you a champion. That is not what made him
Yeah.
a champion, right there.
Welcome
Not
to
at
the
all.
jungle because
Not
this is
at all.
bigger than a forest. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? Jesus.
Exactly. TJ, you're a champion as well. We've been riding on Forrest. You're a champion as well. You've won 6, 7 X Games gold medals.
Not gold, but not all of them
Medals.
are gold, but a couple gold ones. You know,
3
whatever.
bronze. What?
Yeah,
How many
couple-
gold?
Just a couple badass ones.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch
yeah,
of golds.
yeah.
I've seen a lot of golds.
Yeah, there's.
I've
some
seen at
gold.
least 4 golds.
Yeah, I saw some golds too. Yeah, they're nice.
Just to be a modest human because
They're
I like
good.
to brag. I'm glad that like I devoted my life to being a social media guy, and you guys have actually done really cool things with your life. And I make faggot videos on the internet. So
No,
Yeah,
dude,
thank
don't
you.
say that. It's
Thank
not.
you.
Not at all. But you're one of the best BMX fucking writers of all time, and that's pretty fucking crazy.
Thanks, man.
Has anybody beat that record?
What's that?
In BMX, as far as how many?
Yeah, you've
Yeah,
won
oh, yeah,
almost.
dude.
You've
Oh, yeah,
won in
they're
almost
like
every
a lot
single
of guys.
competition you've ever.
But I always loved.
I have won a lot of things, but like, there's a lot better people nowadays. Like these guys these days are just. They're just mind-boggling. I can't even believe the stuff that's going down.
But can I stop you in that? It was like the same way I look at like Forrest, not to suck your guys' dick, but right, you have evolution.
That's all right, dude.
Yeah.
I think, hey, we can use it, dude. We can use it.
right?
It's an evolution of
Yeah.
sports, right? And like obviously, when you look at guys today, right, you're like, it's like the Royce Gracies that really fucking they revolutionized what fighting is. Jiu-jitsu.
LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Like,
Yeah,
athletes
who
get
knew
better
what the
over
fuck
time.
jiu-jitsu was and all that? And then like guys like you guys put your fucking sports
Right.
on the map. They wouldn't exist in the capacity that they do if it wasn't for
at that point because it was so new. I mean, you guys influenced what freestyle
Dude, like
frames.
it gives me fucking chills. Like back when the fighting, like when you just slugged it out in a fucking match on television for the first time, you had that one moment to fucking do it, and what you were doing in the fucking X Games, like that shit is awesome. And now, obviously, the younger guys, as they always do, they come and make it better, and like not better, but they refine it. They take what everybody did early on, and then obviously have the camps. They start training.
Yeah,
at
fuck
fucking
those guys.
10
well, me
10
and
years
TJ
old.
just got to sit around and talk about the good old days on
days,
podcasts.
Dude, I'd
like a
way
bunch of
rather do
fucking
that.
old losers.
No,
But listen, man, washed up has-beens are better than
Yes.
never was.
I'm just saying.
Also-
hey, we're
Also-
paying our respect, dude. You guys like the utmost reverence for what you've done in your sports individual. It's fucking phenomenal, and
Thanks,
it's
man.
awesome,
Appreciate
man.
it,
Yeah,
brother.
absolutely,
Thank you,
dude.
man. But you know what else is like? They have different kinds of training nowadays. So when we were like back in the day, like he was slugging it out with Stefan in the Randy Couture gym, has seen some of the 25 million of those fights, I'm sure, of the super fights that you had with Stefan that night. Like they've had a lot of those fights on training days every weekend, like just for the hell of it. And so like we had in my backyard, we that was our foam pit, my backyard, which the dirt is like cement.
Turns out it wasn't
it's
foam.
like-
Yeah.
Turns out it wasn't soft. You know what I mean? So nowadays they have foam pits and resis and stuff like that, and we had to learn that stuff.
But all that exists is because of the road you guys paved in your sport. So like that's the cool part about it, and I really resonate with it. I think it's fucking awesome.
Absolutely. And TJ, back in the day, who was your go-to rival that you looked at? Was it Matt Hoffman?
No, Matt was in a different thing. Like I beat Matt at the X Games in '96 when like he and I went, and the reason I beat him is because in practice he went down first go and got bucked over the handlebars and broke his collarbone, so he wasn't able to enter. And it was like, damn, dude, now I got to hit that jump. And like he just crashed his ass off. And that was Matt Hoffman. Like I watched him my whole life growing up, and all of a sudden I'm on the deck with him, and then he goes down and breaks his collarbone first go, and I'm like, So that was crazy. And then there was some pretty big time dudes that I got to go against.
Dave Mira?
Like that. Mira, he was not in my style either. Like he came into dirt jumping a couple times and I smoked the shit out of him. But
It's just two different worlds, right?
but they're totally two different things, because if I go on a vert ramp, it's hilarious to those guys. Like those guys, you know what I mean? It's a joke. But the real good BMX dirt jumpers were like Corey Nastasio and Ryan Nyquist, who actually just turned into a mountain biker, and he's killing it and still on domination. I'm like, dude, the guy is just a badass. So like Nyquist, Nasty, Stephen Murray was a really big one, and he got paralyzed from the neck down, but he actually died on the course a couple times, and they brought him back, and he's just a badass dude. So now he's just a really inspirational person, in my life too. He lives in England now with his kids, and I see his sons riding, and the guy's so bad.
I'm gonna sign my kids up. I'm not. I'm
I'm not either.
They
But
play flag football.
yeah,
That's what they
dude,
do.
my kids are gonna golf. But but really, the thing is that like Steven, I see his sons, and he's such a badass that he actually married a chick, and she already had a son from a previous relationship, and then he actually got custody of that kid, and he's a quadriplegic. So he has custody of her son that she came into
So
the
the
marriage
mom
with,
was not a winner.
because he's such a
Yeah,
badass.
that's, she went to Vegas and lost.
I'm just saying, like, the dude is such a badass that he takes care of that kid plus his new son with that he has with another chick that didn't work out. But he has both sons. You know what I mean? It's like to get a kid away from a mom is pretty damn hard. And
So-
for him to have the audacity to have two sons, and he's quadriplegic, and he's in England, it just blows my mind.
Not to go down like a serious route here, but like, you know,
I think it's too late for
Yeah,
that.
too late. Sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I actually want to have some serious questions for
Yeah.
you guys. So, like, you know, we talk a lot today. We had like a couple charities in with our other podcast, Launch Code, which talks
Awesome.
about business and a lot of things that we try to really support our community because, in you know, transition at this point in the military community is a very like kind of buzzword, but ultimately it's how do you get guys out of a culture and completely change their life the next day and say, go have fun and live life when they had this extreme, this adrenaline.
Yeah.
Do you guys think, I feel this way personally, and feelings are not fact, but the same thing with like fighting and extreme sports, there's a lot of parallels in there since there's such a sense of community, a sense of purpose, and then you retire, right? You get out of the military, fucking done. Like,
Dude.
do you guys do you miss fighting? Do you miss doing that?
Dude, you're checking all the boxes. Yeah, I do a lot. And
How much do you miss it? Because we hear this a lot, Jared and I.
I only miss being on the deck with the boys. That's it. I don't miss any of the injury. I miss hitting a new trick or whatever at the contest and the people in the roar and everything. But I don't really miss that part of it too much because that comes with a lot of crashes and hurting and pain.
But
you've
also had that too. Like,
but that was awesome.
keep
Yeah,
those,
it was badass, dude. I don't want to downplay it, and I loved it. But I really miss being on the deck with the boys. That was the one thing that I missed so much. That's
talking with fucking complete equals that are doing the same shit that you guys are
100%.
doing. And it's just like you can talk to them
The
like
respect
you can't talk
factor.
to anybody else. Like.
yeah, and the respect factor was there because you knew that it might be their last run. So because everybody gets hurt.
That's actually a really good thing. I think because the stakes are super high. Whether you're fighting or extreme sports, right? There is the consequential thing that could potentially be life ending, whether you think it or not. Like, oh, you're just fighting, people don't die. Fuck that. People die in fucking boxing rings. They die in the cage and stuff. So it's like you always have that sense of reverence and respect.
Really? So I don't actually like to compare like what we do to the military. I think that's a different thing. Like, I'm gonna kiss your ass now, all you guys. So,
Definitely not Ross. He's a civilian.
Fuck him, man.
I'm a comedian.
I knew I didn't really like this guy. But here's the deal.
Just kidding.
Make
buddy.
people laugh every
I'm
night.
kind of a tough guy. Like, I'm not afraid of a lot of shit. And if I am, I'll do it anyway. But, 9/11 came down. I was about the right age. I didn't sign up. Thought about it, but I sure didn't. So everybody that did, think like I'm not a coward. Like I thought, hey, maybe it's probably
You're definitely not.
But here's the thing. So think about everybody that did sign up after 9/11. You knew best case scenario, you were gonna sit in a hot damn desert in a fucking tank for a year and not take a fucking shower. And worst case scenario, you were gonna get blown up by some son of a bitch coward that you never saw, just trying to drive, oil or something, some product for fucking people in that area. Just literally trying to make that environment better, and somebody was going to try and kill you for it. And you knowingly did that, And I thought, man, that's something I really, God, I got this thing going in my life. And
I might counter that a little bit because I think that's rad. And but ultimately, I think a lot of people in their position joining the military don't necessarily know the consequences and the environment that they'll exist in. And you're taking that leap of faith. And obviously, I'm one of the biggest proponents of pro-military. It's like what we've created our whole company and entertainment based off the fact we want to give back to the people because you really think about how there's a war like well over a decade and it's not on TV more. It's almost not to the extreme of like Vietnam, but we just all kind of forget about it. There's fucking dudes dying in Afghanistan every day, right?
Every day.
We just kind of forget about it. It's like it's become a mundane portion of society.
You get numb to anything.
Absolutely.
Exactly, right? And we want to bring it back where it's like, hey, these guys that are coming back, there needs to be science involved in TBIs and addressing issues and the physicalities and the psychological components of seeing more and all of those things.
Well, you were talking about that, that being on edge, that cortisone spike,
100%.
and now you're back and you're like, okay, Don't do that anymore.
Yeah, don't do it.
That shit you were doing for like 8 years,
Nope.
Don't
that
do it.
doesn't happen
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah, just fucking drive and calm down, act normal. You know,
And the physiological things are why I see the direct representation is the same things, because that adrenaline dump and that and is the same across the board, whether you're getting shot at, whether you're fucking doing a triple backflip, whether you're going in to swing a guy against a guy that is the world champion. Like, it's your body's response is pretty much the same
Your
thing.
body doesn't know.
And when you quit
Fight or
that,
flight. Yeah.
and I really like what you said, TJ, was about you miss the boys. And I think like a lot of us, like when we look back, like, yeah, I miss. Like early on, I miss the gunfighting, right? Because you're like, I like fucking taking someone's life. It's the utmost fucking competitive nature in the world, because I'm better than you and you die for your consequence. But conversely, the more and more you're involved with it, your friends and people start getting really hurt. You see your friends, families sacrifice. You see people die, and you're like, man, I don't know if I like this, right? So I don't know if I miss that component of it. I miss, being around the guys where I can speak freely. And that's kind of why we started Drinkin Bros podcast, was having that ability to sit and talk with guys like we would back in the locker
you
room.
guys definitely speak freely.
Yeah, the freedom of your speech is definitely not impeded.
No,
It's not- we don't
First
give a
Amendment
fuck,
is no
man.
scared here.
You guys, I mean, you guys had a bond that, you're riding around the fucking A-Rap or whatever with somebody, like going.
Strikers, probably. Were you in Strikers? Yeah, were you in Strikers or Humvees?
Yeah.
Hey,
Go.
hey, how fucking small are those things inside?
What?
The
Strikers are amazing.
Strikers aren't bad, man. I love
They're,
them.
They're
they're
not-
comfortable.
Oh, God.
Strikers
And they
sa-
have AC.
A striker saved my life twice. 'Cause those things
We're
get-
two
they have
tall
the-
drinks, and I'm with you. It's
The V-
uncomfortable
the
as
V-
shit.
the V hole.
The V armor
Oh,
saved my
yeah.
life twice,
Yeah.
because they always get like tires blown off, but the shrapnel fucking this
I
way.
took two.
But as a civilian who's
took
never
two?
been into
Yeah,
war,
that.
they're
Yeah.
small as shit.
It just
Yeah.
popped
Yeah. No.
tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wasn't thinking about it from a life or death situation.
Sorry.
I was thinking, damn, this is
Hey,
uncomfortable.
you
I
gotta
will
go
say-
to the grocery store at the end of the
The
month.
brilliance about being in the military in that capacity, you learn the fucking coolest ways. Just like in fighting in the gym, like how do I nap? So like I always had this like cross leg thing where I'd let forward. I'd put my AR
Right.
buttstock all the way up,
Right, and just-
pull up my helmet, and there's my nods mount for my night vision.
Right.
I'd set it right in my buttstock, and then I'd fall asleep on the movement. That was the best naps I ever had right there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sleep
I can
anywhere.
sleep anywhere.
Eat in
Like-
10 minutes. I can eat in 10 minutes. I can eat anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I'm
Yeah, you
like,
give me a penis. What?
I can
What?
I can do that.
So weird.
Hang on.
delicious.
Hang on. We're not going to get into
I'm getting
eating
hungry.
penises just yet. TJ, growing up, who was the guy you looked up to that made you want to go into your sport?
Fuzzy Hall. Like Fuzzy and Todd Lyons. Those are the two guys that I was like, those are my dudes.
Dude, and real quick, like the way that he did his first contest, like pro contest, like tell that real quick. Like
Yes.
like because it's so cool because
But
this
like-
is
It was
what, like,
so different back in the day than it
Yeah,
is now,
like so I was watching the X Games. It was I graduated high school. And that was the first year the X Games came out. Was
Okay.
that year, that summer. So that summer we watched the X Games, and I'm seeing Jay Miron and all these really badass people. And in the
Is
back
it
of my
crazy for you?
mind,
Because it's like, hey, they're really famous now. They're on TV.
yeah. And I'm like, dude, they're massive. And then I was like, man, I really feel like I could hang with these dudes. Like that's what I was thinking in my mind.
Sure.
But you don't say that shit out loud because your boys would be like, dude, are you fucking, you know what I mean? And so I was like, man, I really think I can hang with these dudes. I got to get in there. And then somebody in the room with us was like, TJ, why aren't you in there? Like you could beat those dudes. And I was like, I don't know. And then my friend Nick Herda, he was like a guy that spent a lot of money at the races, which was the biggest contest of the year besides the X Games. It wasn't even invented yet when this contest was invented. And he was like, hey, do you want to get in the King of Dirt? And I was like, yeah, can you get me in? He's like, I'll try. So he called this dude named Gork, and then Gork was like, yeah, sure, I'll put him on the list, no problem, because Nick was so important to the ABA.
Absolutely.
And so there was 20 top pros, and the first 5 names on there were the guys in the X Games and all this stuff, and then the 20 top pros, and then me. And I was like,
That
just
had to have been intimidating.
it was insane. And like, I remember getting the mail in the mailbox because there's these things that you used to call letters.
Yeah.
And they come
Yeah.
in the mail. And
letters.
Yeah.
I remember those in the Flintstones.
I got that.
What is that?
and
A letter?
Yeah.
Oh, is it like a paper email?
Oh, it is. It
Oh
is.
shit.
It's,
Okay.
it's one of those P-mails.
And it said my name on the front. It said TJ Lavin on the front, and I was like, all right, sweet, I got mail. So you've got mail? No, I got mail. So then I opened the thing, and it was a list of names and me. And I was like, holy shit. And I took a picture of it, but of course it was with a camera.
Right. Yeah.
So it's long gone. And
Old school Kodak.
Yeah, dude.
No
you
one
know.
knows if that role got developed.
Come on.
You lost the Polaroid. We got it.
So then I was like tripping out, and then I went there, and I remember like being in the lights and all the crowd and
was it
everything,
held?
and
Yeah, where was
Oklahoma City.
Oh, wow.
Oh, all right.
And that afternoon, and the bombing had just happened. Like I think the year
Timothy McVeigh.
1995 is when this went down in November of '95. So whatever the date was for that bombing, because the whole
94,
town
I
was
believe.
boarded up, still boarded up, and I was like, dude, that's crazy. So, and I was riding around, and that was my first life experience to boarded up housing, like things that happened in the world that I didn't notice. You know what I mean? And then that one night I won. It was crazy, and I won my.
Yeah. Like, go back into that. What did you do?
I did like a truck driver, a 360 tabletop, and a backflip, and a Superman seat grab. And
People went
smoked them.
ballistic. You smoked everybody.
Yeah. And everybody was like, yeah, dude, like by a pretty good amount, you know? And they were like,
No, I mean, you killed everybody.
yeah, they were like, this is a different level of riding right now. Like,
Did the other people
New
in the,
style.
because
Because
the contest say that to you? Of like, hey,
Yeah.
man,
Prior
you're-
to,
you're on a
like,
different
what was
planet.
the norm? Was it like just simple bar spins or something on a first jump
No,
and
they
then
would-
one hammer where you just did 4 hammers in a row?
it was just one jump. So this was 4 different turns.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was like just one jump, and
damn.
it was like just 4 different turns, and
They
and I
didn't have
remember
runs
like
back there. It was just a jump.
it was just yeah,
Hey,
and Gary Ellis, who he's one of the best racers in the history of the sport.
He used to have his own bike, an Ellis bike.
He
My
said,
dad had an Ellis mountain
GT.
bike.
He rode for GT.
Yeah.
So he was like, he said that I had like crazy style or something in the magazine, like after that happened. And I remember reading that, and I was like, that guy knows my name. Holy shit. Like, that's Gary Ellis. Like, he knows my name. And Jay Miron put me on his shoulders, and like, it was crazy. It was like,
just like, what
seriously
the
like a straight up movie.
And all
like,
these pros come up to you now
Yeah.
because you just won.
Yeah.
And you're the only name none of them have ever heard of.
yeah, hey, I'm Fuzzy. Hey, I'm Todd Lyons. Hey, I'm this. You know,
Do you
the
feel
best
like
in the
you're-
world.
Yeah,
You're
do
like,
you feel like you're automatically in the club, in the fraternity? Where
Yeah,
it's like,
did they
oh, hey.
accept you right then?
Yeah,
like, you
as soon
just
as you win,
hammered
it's
this.
like, oh, hey, congratulations. Welcome to Wheels.
Here's your green jacket.
yeah, they were like, the calls are coming. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, the calls are coming. And
Was
they
that
were right.
Was that a golf reference?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it was.
massive.
I believe
I mean,
it was
only
in
because
Augusta,
I-
Georgia.
Augusta,
right?
Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, me and Forrest are from Georgia. You wouldn't
in
know
the
about
day.
that. Yeah.
But it's pretty crazy, dude. It was like gnarly.
That-
I
Dude,
loved
that
it.
is it's the coolest story.
That's amazing. So as you're a champion and as you go along, does the publicity and the women and all that shit escalate? Like how overnight? How different is it?
Yeah, dude. The next day, it was like,
Shut the fuck
yeah,
up.
Swear to God.
serious?
The next day, it was like on. It was crazy, and it hasn't stopped, dude. Since November. I mean, you wouldn't believe the lines outside of my trailers.
Oh, it's huge.
I was gonna be douche. Like the best thing about like having a little bit of a following and stuff is the fact that you can filter out all the shit and find an awesome woman. It's like I wouldn't have met.
That's right.
I wouldn't
Yes.
have met my wife if it wasn't for the social media and
media.
everything. Because you're like, okay, I could have all this, but who is that?
Yeah. How about
Yes.
I get super lucky.
TJ?
Yeah, like my wife, she was where all couples meet is the Circle Bar at Hard
Instagram.
Rock.
Wait. Oh yeah.
Everybody
I
that
also
stays
met my-
together.
I also met my wife at the.
Did you
not at
really?
the bar, at Hard Rock?
Yeah, of course.
Really?
Shut the fuck
That's
up.
where they all meet. You know what I mean?
So no, I mean I met my wife at a gym. You'll appreciate that, right?
I saw her walking.
Absolutely.
Planet Fitness?
Is she a fighter?
the Hard Rock gym.
Is she a fighter or a lifter?
No.
All right, I got MMA questions. Pizza and monsters that they're there for. I got some questions for you, Forrest, if you
Or
don't mind.
Planet Hollywood, whatever.
So, what I always like this fighters. What is your favorite fight that you were ever involved in, and the absolute fucking worst you were involved in?
You take a guess at the first.
Your favorite?
Yeah.
The Stephen Bonner fight.
Oh, was it?
Well, I mean, it has to be. I mean, that's not like iconic.
Enough of you.
That's
Go ahead.
that's
Sorry,
not,
the next one.
that's legendary.
Men are
When
talking
he lost
here.
to Keith Jardine, that
Can I-
really
can I-
talked
can I-
about
Men are talking
Can I
here.
guess your worst fight? And I didn't. These are not prepped questions.
I mean, it's
Just-
pretty easy. Yeah.
Is it the Silva fight?
Yes. Not even the Keith Jardine fight. I was doing all right before I was in that one. That's just fighting.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, can
It
I see
is.
this? I'm not putting you on the spot. It will just tell me shut the fuck up. So
I've
huge fan of you.
never-
I wanted you to knock that fucker out so bad, and I'm a huge.
Well, that
fan.
wasn't going to happen.
But
Really?
I could have tried to
Did you
grind
know?
on
Did
him.
you know going in though that wasn't going to happen?
Well, I mean, I didn't figure I'd knock him out. He had great chin. I didn't have a ton of power. I figured I could grind on him and just clinch him. And he caught me early, and I
was it
fought-
just like you wore you down kind of thing? Because it's at the end. I know you. I don't
No.
know, jogged out, but it was
I
like-
got knocked out cold 2 weeks the day before in practice.
Okay.
So that again, that's what guys don't do anymore. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you going 100% that close to a fight?
That early
and
in a
why
fight,
are you
yeah.
going with people 100%? And here's the thing: it was actually Bristol Murundi who was in like the Vegas flip or flop. Good guy. He never beat. You know what? Like I didn't think he could get the better of me. I was like, I'm having a shit day. It's my hard day though. Fuck it, can't miss it. And he fucking got the better of me. He knocked me out cold. And it was hilarious because the first thing I remember is my wife yelling at me like, "Where the fuck are you?" And I'm like, "What are you even talking about?" Like, "You're supposed to meet me for lunch." And I'm like, "I don't even know what you're talking about right now."
Holy shit! That far along?
Dude, it was like 4 hours later.
God.
Bristol's a nice guy too, like
I was
cool
like,
ass
what
dude.
are you talking about? Yeah. Still though, fuck
So
it.
that's like so. And will you agree with that? Like the sparring has significantly changed over the years. So like the old school fucking beat ass.
You know
in the
what's
gym?
almost happening? It's going back to boxing where there's the head guy that's the badass, and then he brings in the guys that can't really hurt him, aren't on his level.
I was going to say about Floyd Mayweather. The rumor is over the years, because of his hands were so brittle, that he would bring in these guys. You couldn't hit Floyd. Floyd never hit you. And they had an understanding going on for years and years and years to save his body. Is it the same in UFC?
So that's not really the case. The deal is he would bring in young and up and comers, and there's like a famous story about somebody coming to his gym to spar him and getting the better of him. Because
Really?
he was out of shape, and he never got out of shape again.
Do they sign an NDA for that so they're not allowed to talk about shit like
So
that?
Yeah,
that's
there's
funny.
No
So
cell phones in the gym for
when
sure.
Connor was in working out at the PI before that fight,
Yep.
Yeah.
I signed an NDA.
Of course.
Like the polymers
Really?
and all that shit. Yeah, they're like, sign this. And I'm like, whoa, really?
That was like the Pauly footage that got released. That was the hypocrisy in there because he had signed an NDA and allegedly McGregor's team had to
Exactly.
sign an NDA
And
saying
how
like
did that get
he
leaked?
can't. Well, because come on, it's fucking. He don't care what's Pauly going to sue him for $15,000. He don't give a fuck. Like, right? I don't know.
Forrest has got a different look.
Oh
on
yeah,
his-
he knows better
Do
than
you know
anybody.
something better than us?
No, I really don't.
Oh, okay. I'm just speaking out my ass. So it's usually what I'm good at. He's huffing and puffing. Is that what a marketing thing is? Probably marketing. I'd imagine it.
there's
No,
a long
no,
Blake
that-
Griffin stare you
But
just
like, no
gave
offense,
me.
like I don't know Pauly, but I mean the guy is actively known for like being a cocaine addict at this point in his life, and he's
Is
not.
he?
He's
No.
not in his prime. Well, I mean, from the TMZ reports, but
And that's what I've heard as well, yeah.
and that's basing off just what
So,
I've seen.
I actually liked him. I worked out with him a little bit.
Huh?
Oh, I have no idea.
I liked him. What I'll say is, man, that guy can talk. Holy
Really?
shit, he can talk.
Good
At
or
first,
bad?
I was like,
Good or bad, though?
No, good.
Okay.
But like, do you listen to all the interviews with him?
I do because
He
by the
never
way,
stops talking.
Yes,
Yeah.
but he also announces for boxing.
He
on
does
HBO.
well. He does
Yes.
well. I think he's good at
He
it
does.
too. I like him. He
you know who I
understands
love?
the game.
Fucking Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan follows me on Instagram, and I'm said every podcast we
Look
ever
at that.
do, he follows
Yeah,
me, and
you
I'm.
should. You should
I,
keep
that
saying
is
that.
my biggest fangirl moment of meeting more so than meeting
Absolutely.
Forrest
I get
in
it.
true life,
get it.
in the flesh.
Joe Rogan has had some great fights.
We've all also, but in podcast world, forget UFC. He's one of the godfathers of podcasting. If
Yes.
it wasn't for him, none of this shit is going down now. If you would have ever thought to yourself,
Well,
"Hey,
who's
I'm
who's
gonna drive
the
out."
podcast guy. What's his name?
What do you mean?
The podcast guy. He's the other comedian. He was
Mark
on
Maron.
No, he was on the.
The Howard Stern.
No, he was. Although that is probably good. He was actually. I think he was on that show with Rogan, like the Man Show, before Rogan was on.
Adam Carolla.
Oh, Adam
Adam
Carolla.
Carolla.
That's
Adam
one of the
Carolla.
other big.
Oh yeah, what was
the
it? Adam
biggest shows.
Carolla and Dr. Drew and
Dr. Drew?
what was
By the
that
way-
date? The
No. So Adam Carolla,
Also
the story
huge
behind the
podcast,
podcast
yes.
is, he kind of like, he got fired.
He
Yeah.
did.
And
He did.
everybody showed up, and they were like, "What the fuck do we do?" And it was like, "Let's do a show anyway.
Yeah.
We'll just release it ourselves."
Yep.
And that guy's nodding his head, so I must be right.
And then
and
Rogan.
you guys have a podcast as well, right?
Dude, our podcast is so fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, we have one. It's called Anything Goes with TJ Lavin and Forrest Griffin.
Or it's also called A Day Late and a Dollar Short.
It is called that too.
How many shows have you
That
guys
was
done?
me trying to get you to promote your show.
Yeah,
on
no,
our
we
show.
appreciate that. We
Okay.
appreciate-
I think we've
all
had,
the
like-
humble brags earlier, and then when it comes to podcasts, we're like,
Kind of have one.
And
It's
I want to
pretty
get some shit.
sick.
I don't humble brag. I just brag. So,
No.
no.
Do you guys? How many shows are you guys in?
I think we were in like 30 maybe or something.
12, 13. It's like 15, like half of that. Really? Like half of what, yeah. No. Yeah. Dude, we just had
Dude,
like
we've been doing it for like a year, bro. We only have 15
We're not
fucking shows.
consistent.
God
We're
damn
not
it.
We're
consistent.
at 26.
See? Are we see?
You see, because I subscribe.
Are we really?
That's every 2
Thanks,
weeks.
man.
That's
Thank
every
you.
2
Thank
weeks.
you.
That's not
Let's
bad.
put them on the spot. If you could
26,
have one of
wow.
the three on your guys' show, who would you want? And you can say none. That's
Ooh.
totally fine.
Well, I mean,
It's
it's,
gonna be-
definitely not Keith Jardine over here.
Correct.
Yeah, no. Because
It's
in
probably gonna
UFC
be
66.
So, you know, I remember the best thing, and I tell people, and this you will be able to relate to, is when you put your life's work into something and something means that much to you and you lose at it and you fail in front of millions of people. You fail, you get knocked the fuck out in front of your mom, in front of any potential mates you may have. You look like a fucking child.
Mates, I like that.
Yeah.
You were going to cry. And people like, what the fuck was with that crying shit? And I was like, what the fuck is with never owning something in your life? Like,
Exactly.
what is with never committing to something to the point where you were emotionally broken when you lost
so
it?
emotionally
Because,
invested.
Yes.
hey, if I never fought again, at least I had the balls to go out there and try for everything, right?
100%.
So, and then I failed at my dream. Fuck it, I failed. I would rather regret the choices I make and the things I do than the things I don't do, right? So that's also my book, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. But here's this.
Hence why we even started this goddamn
I love it,
podcast
man.
in the beginning.
Hold on, like no, seriously, like please, like grab
we are.
the mic.
Fucking
What is the books that you've released? You released 2.
God fight and be ready when the shit goes down, which I didn't include how to survive the zombie apocalypse in. I didn't include that. I wrote like a little bit and I was like,
Let's do that book 3 together
So,
because I know
yeah,
how to do it quite well.
I honestly thought it's played out, and that was in 2008 or 9.
I know
wrote
we
that
made a
book. And I was
movie
like,
about the
it's
zombie
played out.
apocalypse.
I was like,
we
it's
get
played
it.
out.
We're right here.
Have you
Forrest.
seen?
I'm
Have
an
you
idiot.
seen our movie?
I
I've seen
have
it.
not. I'm
There's a
familiar
bunch
with,
of
so
UFC guys
I
in it.
told him the story. I'm familiar with it. My boy
Randy.
Tim gets nice and naked in it.
Yeah,
right?
Tim-
Well, Tim Kenny was in it. Randy Couture. We had Greg Jackson, who did a lot of the fight
Wonder
game.
Boy.
Greg Jackson, by the way, one of my fucking favorite people.
Stephen Bonner's also in it.
Yes, Stephen
Yes,
Bonner's also in it. We had
Cryptocurrency
Keith
king.
Jardine in it. We had oh Jesus Christ.
UFC 66. Keith Jardine. That's a callback.
He's the wrestler, black guy, fucking athletic specimen. He's just a fucking badass. Well, there's a lot of them in the UFC, so like, that's not very good.
T. Wood?
No, it wasn't what.
Like
Rampage?
No, it wasn't Rampage.
it's not like
Matt's not a fan.
Kevin Randleman or anything.
He's an 85er. I think
85er?
he fights in Bellator now, I believe. But whatever, I'll look it up. But there was a shit ton of amazing.
He's a
fighters in the
human.
movie.
Yeah,
he's a
yeah,
human.
Greg and Keith brought what 18 of them.
Yeah, and there's that one female pro fighter. She was a fucking stud.
Yeah, she was in it.
Beat up
but,
Jack.
But by the way,
So now at the end of the podcast, we talk about women in a positive light. But in the beginning of the
No, we don't.
podcast,
We don't.
we
We
throw
actually
women
don't.
under the bus.
We
Well,
actually
I don't
don't.
think that's fair
We
because
actually
I
don't.
was talking about a sexuality component, and actually something that we do actively. We are all about the fucking boss female. I don't like. Let me just use my wife as an example because I can talk in context. Like,
Yeah.
you know, beautiful, fucking smart, young, and all of these things. But I'm like, hey, I can't be a protector in the sense of like you're an object for me and I'm always there. It's like, no, you need to be self-aware, carry a gun, be a fucking badass bitch, and she is. And so like the Drinking Bros female, we're 14% that listen to us out of the 100% audience. But if you go on
think it's
Drinking
12 now.
Drinking Bro Broettes,
Yeah.
it's a really large forum on Facebook. These chicks are fucking badass.
Is that your dating
they're
website? Is that your
firefighters. They're
dating
fucking
site?
cops. They're fucking
So,
veterans.
you
They're
know,
fucking rad. And that's what I
it's
support. I
funny.
don't support the fucking look at pity me.
It's funny. We actually get that a lot. And those are women like firefighters, cops, military. They've all been around guys like us,
Yeah,
right? So
they can handle the
they're
shit
a little
talking.
bit immune to it. Yeah.
True. but they're studs. You know what I'm saying? Like I know plenty of chicks that would whoop my fucking ass.
Wait till you have a daughter and she'll change your
I'm an uncle to
mindset.
like 4, and I already get really weird about it. It
but
weirds me
when
out.
you have your own, you'll be like, I don't know if we should talk about women like that. It feels wrong in my soul. I don't know.
Is this weird to tell you I can't have babies? So thanks for that.
Really?
You can't. That's not
Just
true.
in time. Just in
No.
time.
Is that true? Is that true?
No, just Noelle swallows everything. So I don't know.
Oh boy. Welcome to Drinkin' Bros. Welcome to Drinkin'
timing on that one.
That's a good girl.
Bad
wife
So
makes that.
you know
No,
what?
but-
It's kind of weird because it's the same thing with gay dudes. Like me and him just interviewed
Hey, it was really
a
awesome.
dude
actually.
named Matt,
yeah.
last week. He's one of my good friends. He's from Salt Lake. So like
ironic.
when people say when people drop the F-bomb, not fuck, on me,
The other one,
I'm
which,
like,
yeah.
oh,
I
you know,
Said it. It's faggot, pile of sticks, whatever.
Yeah. Like when people say that in front of me, I'm like.
It- we
it
both
hurts my
cringed. We-
ears.
we
dude.
both
We like
cringed a
cringe a
little
little bit.
bit.
We're like,
Yeah, our
damn,
boy,
dude. Because we know so many gay people and it hurts their feelings.
Well,
like I don't care about it at all.
Time out.
But
But
like-
listen to one podcast. Listen to the one with Matt, and it's actually like, dude didn't like. He's not like you would think a gay guy. Like he did not want to be gay. Like he didn't accept.
Nobody
it for
does.
Years.
They're just born like that.
Yeah, well,
like,
but
dude,
a lot
On
of gay
Thursdays,
guys-
I want to be gay, but that's
Yeah,
completely
that's
separate.
Matt's thing.
the difference
it's only
between wanna
sexual,
be and
it's not-
are.
No, man, like so, like
Good.
Like,
I mean,
like for
I
instance,
look at
like
you
the,
and I'm
the
just
podcast.
like-
This is why I love this fucking. So we have a closed community, about 100,000 members on Facebook, right? So everybody, like, we're all fucking kind of alpha males that are out there showing our asses and all
Right.
that. But we have sub chapters, and every chapter is completely. It's fucking awesome. So there's an LGBT fucking chapter where it's all lesbians, transgender, gay, like. All about it, like, and that's the weird thing about people being a conservative American, in my sense, where I'm pro fucking gun. They think they immediately associate you with being like, man, them fucking faggots. Like, are you kidding me? The reason I spent 10 years deploying was you can have freedom of choice
Right.
and liberty.
And what you want.
do you.
Do what you wanna do,
100%. Like there's,
Yeah.
there's
And if
That's
I think
cool.
otherwise, I'm a hypocrite of what I'm
right, and there's
stand
another
for.
one. People, I saw a guy the other day posting. He was just like,
That's
"Hey, I know
cool.
it's Drinking Bros, but like I'm a former alcoholic. I've been sober for 7 years. Can I be in this group?" And I'm like, "You're goddamn right, you can be.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. I hope you inspire other people to not drink so much." So it's about community and like coming together and just laughing and enjoying life.
I love
Quality
that.
of life. Whatever you want to do with your life is your decision. Like 100%.
dude, that's the best.
100. Like
That's
so.
so-
I
that
hate
means
that. Like
so
I hate the
much.
stereotypes. Like, oh, listen, I have a fucking foul mouth, a sailor's mouth. I say fag, shit, fucking cunt, whatever.
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't mean that I
but
mean
it's
those things.
Not long
Here's-
ago,
here's a good
especially
thing.
for all of us, is like, no kidding, a decade ago, it was weird to be pro gay.
Oh yeah,
It was
No,
looked
no.
down upon.
Oh,
Like
yeah. No,
I
I mean-
remember one of the like third episode of the X-Files. Like the whole purpose of the episode was a U.S. senator that was being blackmailed for
'Cause he
being
was
gay,
gay, yeah.
and that was like a fireable offense.
You know what was cool?
And it's
Like,
you can remember,
like-
where
No,
it was
yeah.
demonized.
So I remember using that word a lot. It's called
too.
the '90s, though. But you know, like now I'm just.
But everybody has like it's verbiage, right? Everybody has
Yeah.
a different association with a word. It's a fucking sound. So like,
Right.
that's why I had
No,
to. I want to
totally.
clear the word, like the air. Like it's not. I mean, I've had people come at me like, "I heard that dude's fucking gay," and I was replying like, "So."
So yeah, exactly.
Like,
Hey,
and I'm
guess
like, I'll
what?
tell you one thing: if I suck dick, I will be one of the best at it because I'm
Oh
fucking
my
good
god,
at things.
dude!
Like,
Let me tell you what.
he's
You're
just good
at
at
things.
and
Look, listen to me. Listen to me. I've never sucked a dick.
I mean,
okay.
listen, man. Hey, just real quick. If you ever decide to, can you just hit me up? Because if I ever go gay, it's definitely gonna be with you. Because you are so goddamn good looking.
You got the first dick that
Listen,
you will ever suck right there.
Huh? That's my wife. Maybe I'm a little buzzed. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's just go with this,
Mail,
man.
mail me a couple of
just
dildos.
got-
back.
I tell you what. Listen.
oh dear.
Listen, I've
dick-sucking
never
pact
sucked a
was
dick,
created
but
here.
I also guarantee I'll be good at it because if you look at my internet browser history, it is like
Bang Bros.
it looks
Bang
looks
Bros.
like I'm trying to do master's level research on blowjobs.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is wrong with me? And I figure like, dude, I'm not gay. I'm pretending that's my 10-inch black cock in her mouth. Like what the fuck is with me and blowjob porn?
I
Like,
actually
really
have a
don't
10-inch
even
black
know.
cock if it was white and about 7 inches shorter. So,
Practically the same thing.
Jared's going for Mexican DACA like people who are hoping to get adopted in the country.
What?
In the back of a van. That's your new porn that you're going
my
after.
gosh.
He likes brother
Too far,
fuck
too
scared
far, baby.
sister.
Too
No,
far,
no, no,
too far.
He likes brother fuck scared sister in a tornado. That was an episode we had.
That's so weird.
Oh yeah.
You got to search it.
He watches.
I can't search that.
So
I can't.
That's how specific he gets. He goes on vacation porn, where you see the family have a full vacation.
It's
for
on
like,
average hour and 28 minutes.
Yes, but the first hour you see him go on vacation, shop, buy.
How do you get
and then
stuff
they
done
fuck.
in your life?
Thank you.
Like, what's going on?
Yes.
Listen, I don't need a Lean Six Sigma black belt to tell me that I should optimize my jack off schedule. Like I'm 3 minutes in and out if I have to do it. I'm like, I need what is the goal, right? Mission assessment. I have to orgasm. How do
hustling.
I optimize
I'm
the
hustling.
workful and the content to make that happen?
Listen to this guy. He said
I'm
mission
hustling.
assessment.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no,
holy
exactly,
shit.
no.
Treat your dick like it's a rock. Like how do we
Beat it
how
up.
do we get it?
Fuck yeah.
So I was talking about stand-up. I got some stand-up about that. If you think about it, like, be honest. If you could suck your own dick, you'd suck your own dick.
Probably. I wouldn't come in my own mouth.
So,
but I would
but
suck
you
it.
would. You would. All right. You'd feel fucking horrible about it and you bleach your teeth. But at that moment, there's nothing better. You'd be like, fuck yeah. And then you'd be like, oh my God. You'd
No,
spit
so
it. I didn't say you'd swallow. I just
No.
said you'd suck your own
I would
dick.
digress on that because
It's just like
because
really
ultimately there-
advanced
okay,
form
so
of
look at
masturbation.
look at a percentage component here, right? 100% like you orgasm right there because you can come in someone else and you're like and immediately the specter goes down.
yeah.
Now, so when you're coming in your own mouth, you're feeling the really good euphoria, and then immediately you're going, it's in my fucking mouth.
I don't
The
know, man.
orgasm's done, the euphoria's
I don't know.
gone, and what do you do with it? It might go in my mouth, but you're goddamn right.
Yeah,
I will
you're gonna
swallow.
spit it.
Dude,
Yeah,
you know
you're
what you
gonna
do?
spit it.
You fucking gargle it, dude. You just do what you do, bro.
boy.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
wish-
you play with
I
it,
wish-
you
I
spit
wish
it a
we
little
could
bit
have
out,
this
you
problem.
bring it back.
I've tried. I'm not close.
Realistic-
I wish.
Realistically, if I could do it, I'd probably come in my own mouth and then walk in and just give my wife a kiss and be like, "There you go."
Baby birder. Just baby birder.
Dude,
And on that
happening?
note, we're
spit
gonna
it into a shot glass.
Oh my God! What?
The drinking bro of the week, since you guys are new to the show, is
Oh, my God,
you picked
I'll
the most
tell you what.
inspirational person in your life who has taught you how to baby bird.
I tell you what,
or how to be a
I
man.
tried to get dirty, and you just blew me out of the water. You were like,
Crushed
nope, much dirtier than you.
Welcome to the big leagues.
I don't know if that was a hat off to me,
Welcome
but
the
back
big
at you,
leagues.
brother.
TJ Lavin, who would
you,
be your
dear
drinking
sir?
bro of the week? Who is the most inspirational person in your life or your career coming up?
Probably this guy named Nick Herda. He like I jumped his back wall and rode he had a dirt bike track in his backyard, like a little 4-wheeler track, and it was kind of like a shitty little track, and it was the only thing in the neighborhood, and I rode my bicycle on there and I had a great time. And one time I was riding back there and he came home and I was like, shit, and I jumped the fence again, and as I was jumping over the fence, one of his friends caught me and he was like, look, dude, he just wants to talk to you. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went over to him. He's like, hey, man, I don't mind you riding back here at all, man. He goes, just don't sue me if you crash.
No.
I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Really?
He goes, yeah, what do you say we start a team? And I'm like, holy shit, really? He goes, yeah. I was like, that'd be great. So we started a team. And it's called Herda's Hot Shots. And for the next 5 years, he and I like started a team, and we had all the neighborhood kids. We had 5 or 7, maybe 5, 6, 7 kids in the neighborhood that we sponsored and became the Herda's Hot Shots. And we went around the country, and we actually won number 1 team a couple times, and like all this shit. Yeah, dude, from this one guy. And then he is the one that called to get me into that contest, the King of Dirt, back in the day. And
That's
so
amazing, man.
he's
That's
the
awesome.
biggest inspiration like that. And then he also taught me how to like treat people and like little things like tipping and things like that. And here in Vegas, because we're in a tipping town,
Sure.
and like how to tip people and how to like,
You go 20? You go 20%?
yeah,
every
dude,
time?
it's so. Oh, I go way more than that always.
Yeah, same.
Because it's just important, and like for our town, and also you give what you get, and like you get what you give, and I give like
And
as
also,
much as
people
I
know
can.
who you are
know?
in this
it's just
town.
way
so if
better.
you don't, that's why I tip a lot. I tip a lot because people know me.
Oh, yeah.
Humble brag.
Forrest
Humble brag.
Griffin's
Humble brag.
Forrest Griffin's a cheap
I mean, I'm
son
pretty
of a
fucking
bitch.
famous. So
Hey, nothing for not, Matt. huge tipper too as well, and it's the same reason where you're like, fuck.
Badass.
Well, I learned that
Well,
from
they
Jack.
know.
So
Yeah.
Jack Osborne always did that. He always pulls out his little phone and he does the exact 20% every time. I usually round up just because I'm
Same.
fucking terrible at
Exactly,
math.
yeah.
But I was like, why do you care that much? He goes, because the fucking TMZ will do an article on me and say I'm a fucking asshole
Every
for not
time,
tipping
yeah.
20 like percent. I'm like, okay.
So every time.
Nah, dude, you got to go more. It's like, listen, man.
Sometimes.
If you're lucky enough to be able to afford to go out and do whatever you want, then you should hook people up. Like, it's just part of life.
I
like it.
100%
You're
agree.
a kind soul.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. Mr. Griffin, who is your drinking bro of the week? Who is the guy that most inspired you the
Mine
most?
would actually be TJ, and it would be coffee because TJ doesn't drink, and we both love coffee. Hence, I guess we're in the right place.
Really?
Yeah. So TJ,
Have you ever had Black Rifle coffee?
No, never. But
What the fuck?
I mean,
Okay,
I've
we'll
heard
talk
good
after.
things.
Can we?
Yeah.
We'll talk.
yeah.
We'll talk after. Go ahead.
But so the I mean, like TJ like intentionally drives around to like help people stopped on the road.
Oh,
You know, like,
it
that's
happened.
his thing.
It happened when he
Yeah.
was driving me to meet you guys. He's like, I think that guy ran out of gas. We got to turn around. He goes, no, he good.
Really?
Yeah, no, but
That was on live too.
but yeah, and then like you know, something I've always done, but he's like never walk past a piece of trash, always pick it up, and I was like, yeah, I've always done that too, you know, and it just you know, like I wasn't a Boy Scout, I didn't make it, I got kicked out of Webelos, but yeah.
That was so funny. I don't know why that was so funny.
But because Webelos is a funny word, and you can't like the
always
sign.
is.
I know
like,
what he said.
the sign.
Hey,
Tiger
boom.
Cubs
Yep.
and Weeblos.
So yeah, I didn't. But anyway, the idea is you always leave a campsite a little better than you found it, and that's if you read my book. That's my philosophy on
Where can we
life.
find that book, by the way? Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com.
Yeah. Probably. It's at a lot of yard sales these days.
Right.
Discount aisle of Walmart.
If you go into Walmart and you look on the back of the toilet, it's a lot of them.
List.
So TJ's your guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's great. And how, like, forgive me, because I don't know how you guys met originally.
Well, that's another funny story. So
TJ's laughing. So what happened? Yeah.
I'd known TJ for kind of a while, and then he had his accident. And I met TJ in a buddy of ours, Tim Soder Physical Therapy, because he's doing physical therapy. He could barely move after his accident. And I was like, hey, TJ, we had met originally, I think, like at some sort of charity. Ironic, right? And then, so I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? He had no fucking clue who I was. Like, I've known the guy for a year. You know, not like well. Like, I didn't have his phone number. Hey,
Maybe
TJ,
2 years
what's
or
up?
something.
Yeah, probably 2 years, actually. No clue who I was. And so then we got to know that. So he did, like, the Fantasy Football League again, and we got to be friends again through
You guys
that.
fantasy
Through charity.
junkies?
Well,
No.
it was just a
Neither
charity.
one of us are
It's
fantasy
just,
junkies.
It was
No,
just
we
a
don't
way.
even give a
It was
shit
just a
about
way to
football.
lose money for good charities.
I swear to God, we don't even have a team.
The worst thing would be like our charities that we picked were guaranteed not to get a penny, but some other celebrity, like local people, not real celebrities, like Vegas celebrities, their charities would actually like make money off
Like
of us.
mayors.
Constitute's like a Vegas celebrity. Would I be like a Vegas
Like a mayor. Yeah,
I'm
you
more
were
like a
Like
Wisconsin
DJ
celebrity.
Ashba.
Okay, I think I'm bigger
the
than
mayor.
TJ, the mayor, the mayors, the you know, the Goodmans, Oscar Goodman,
Maybe like
Goodman's pretty
newscasters
famous.
and stuff.
Okay.
Pahrump, Nevada too is that's a nice way to be. Super famous Pahrump.
Why'd you even bring that
Barstow.
up? What's wrong with this?
I wanna-
What's he even talking
Barstow.
about?
You know, it's
just like
Rossi P.
random places.
But Pahrump needs a celebrity. Like, I think we dismissed that and we poo-pooed
What's it called?
Pahrump. Pahrump needs a celebrity. Zizix Road needs a celebrity. We need a
All right,
person
we
like
get it.
Bono.
You've been on that shitty drive. We all have.
I've been on that 40 all the way
Zizix
across.
Road is a real place.
Absolutely,
I've done the 40 about 20 times from here to Georgia, and I've done the 15 like twice.
same.
And then I got caught in a snowstorm in Denver in my Scion, and I was like,
Brutal, right?
fuck this shit.
Yeah. Brutal. I want to thank you guys both for being on.
Yeah, that's good. It is about time to wrap this up.
Yeah,
We
let's
have
wrap
been
it up.
talking for
You
so
in
fucking
particular-
long.
I was joking.
It is ridiculous.
And we joke a lot
Hour and
about
15 minutes, actually.
about the UFC 66 and Keith Jardine. My thing is this, like, with the crying in the
Oh
corner.
God.
You couldn't be knocked out by a nicer human.
Yeah. Be nice, Ross.
Being totally dead serious.
Hey, you know what?
when
Let
I
him have it. Fuck it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But when I saw that, like, dude, if you're not trying, like, if it doesn't mean the fucking world to you, and you have a moment like that.
Right. So kind of like what I said, only like less artistic license.
Yes.
Right.
And like, but
Yeah.
like Blake Bortles on Sunday, people were saying, "Oh, like, hey, you just lost the game to the New England Patriots." Tom Brady in the last second, he was crying at the end of the game. It was like, no, man, he fucking wanted it that goddamn bad.
Oh, how dare he cry?
Exactly.
How dare he care about this thing?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, 14-year-old, 13-year-old, when the the fucking Browns got eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah.
I was crying. So I'm happy to see like some people cry, like, 'cause,
Same.
like 12, 13-year-old me. I care about John Elway lost the game. I cried.
Exactly.
Will you give me a back massage?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm pretty good at it.
I see you're supposed to say no, and I was gonna cry. Never mind.
But in all honesty,
they got weird real quick.
That's not the weirdest thing that's happened here.
But in all honesty, like the reason I'm bringing it up, so I was at the Super Bowl last year for the Falcons, and like everybody asked me, when's
Huge
the last time
Falcons fan.
Same. When's the last time you cried as a grown man? I was in the stands watching that game. I'm not even an athlete like you who was a
Right.
part of something like that.
Right.
I can't imagine the emotion that you guys have going into it. That's why I joke about it, but like none of us on a real level. could
He
ever
was
get
also
into that.
crying because
you
we
want
had a
to-
bet on that, and the loser had to get a perm.
I had to get perm.
That's not the worst thing.
Exactly. But as an athlete, like how fucking tough is that?
Do you
You're
want to
right
know
there.
the last time I cried?
Yes.
Smurfs. When Smurfette turns into a lump of clay. It'll make you cry.
Because you have kids? Because
Yeah, I
you
have a 6-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
And that's what
Also, dude, watch the movie It. When the guys, have you seen the movie?
we went
It?
to go saw it
Dude, we
in
watched it.
in Salt Lake City.
I love it. It was
great.
The
fucking-
new one, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Like,
guys
what-
like the new one?
I loved it.
I
We
loved
had a
it.
blast.
I loved it. I
Yes.
thought it was better than the show, which I also loved.
I agree too.
I thought it was
I
great.
hated it.
I hated the spider at the end, and they kind of gave an homage to the spider
Yeah.
by having him jump. And they're like, "No, that's stupid. We're gonna keep it with the clown because he's been the whole." So when the little dead brother is like, "I want to come home. I want to come to
Yeah, when
mommy
he
and
started,
daddy,"
like,
dude, I
"I'll
start
come
crying.
home.
I'm just
I'm
like,
tired.
he's like, "I want to come home. I want to go see mommy and daddy."
Dude,
You know what?
Yeah.
I start crying.
You know what
Same.
movie
Same.
I cry a lot at it is Flatliners.
That's
They stoned that kid out of the tree. Dude, that made me cry when I was like
So
10.
this is going to be the end of
This
Drinkin'
is gonna
Bros
be the end of
podcast.
Drinkin' Bros?
I want to say it real quick because, dude, I'm a massive fucking fan of Forrest, and obviously TJ, you've been on before, but you
and
guys
he's a massive fan of TJ.
absolutely,
Yeah.
You guys are fucking legends. Thank you so much. I know you got busy schedules and coming on our shitty podcast, so thank you so much. We have a shitty podcast, but we have the best fucking listeners in the world. They're plentiful, they're awesome, and they're crazy. But
Maybe you could teach TJ how to do that on the way out.
I will.
that'd be
We're all
really
gonna
cool.
go listen to you guys.
yeah, I mean, I'll come on the podcast. I love coming on your podcast.
That would be so badass.
Exactly. And by
I'll
the way,
talk about
but-
Forrest's book.
from us, like since you have TJ to have you on and Forrest on, like this is a dream come true
Yeah.
for us. So like anything you need from us, we would love to come
I can't
on
wait
our
to
show
go.
and
Like
it would
I
be
can't wait to
amazing.
go back to Jeremy and be like, what was it like to punch that guy?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Jeremy Horn.
No, seriously, man.
Mostly the kick in the head. No, he'll be like, yeah, he was like happy for me after. He was like, good luck for the
Forrest,
next fight.
huge fucking fan, and honestly, what you've done for the sport, even post fighting, and how your involvement and what you're doing to dedicate to the athletes and everything in the sport is fucking.
I mean, if I'm
phenomenal,
not
man. So-
fired when this comes out, yeah, we'll see.
Exactly.
well, we'll delete it because we don't want to ever.
No, I
do
think
anything, so.
we'll be all right.
Thank you for being on. For TJ Lavin, Forrest Griffin, Ross Patterson, Matt Best, Jared Taylor. We're the Drinkin' Bros. Good nights, everyone. This is one of the best shows we've ever had.
Fuck
Fun
yeah.
time.
Time out. You bring him in just for that.
That's all he does.
Literally all he
That's all he
does.
does.
He's like the
And-
outro
and
and
by
the
the way,